is The Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find The Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, how the heck are you? The Monty Show, as always, presented by our good friends at The Advocates, theadvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business. They've got a great motorcycle event coming up. It is the AmFam Monte Cristo Poker Run motorcycle ride. Super cool event. You go on a great scenic motorcycle ride with a great group of folks sharing the scenery. Every time you stop at a scenic viewpoint, you get a poker card, a playing card. Who's ever got the best poker hand at the end of the ride wins a Kawasaki FX50 from Young Power Sports. It's going to be amazing. Make sure you check them out, utahadvocates.com/poker-ride. The Advocates, the best motorcycle injury attorneys in the business. Guys, you never pay the Advocates out of your own pocket. No, you don't pay the Advocates unless and until they win your case at theadvocates.com, where you can chat with an attorney live online 24/7. 365. Holy heck mooly. I just made that word up off the top of my head. Hello, I'm Monty. That's Jake.
Hello.
Welcome to the show. We have a lot of college football expansion news. If you have not already, please hit the like button. We like to get to 1,000 likes every single day. We like to like the liking of the show a lot, with the likes and stuff. So hit the like button, chump. Help us out with that. If you are not subscribed to the show, please consider subscribing. Thank you to everybody who subscribed yesterday. We have officially passed 21,000 now. So applause to all of you.
Well done, friends.
Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. But yeah, please hit the like button. That really helps the channel grow. Without further ado, let's get right to it. We have breaking news in the Pac-12 for you this afternoon. Sources just before the show started reached out to us and told us that Arizona State, and Utah are going through the process of moving to the Big 12. Now, what that means is this is something we've already known, and we've talked about this. But when they're working together as three, this goes back to what we've been reporting since last Thursday, that the Big 12 would, in fact, go to 16. I think there's been a lot of talk about the Big 12 just wants to add one school and that's it, to go to 14. That never made a lot of sense to us. They have far further potential by adding Arizona State and Utah to go with that, to have 4 teams joining to get to 16. You are on par then with the SEC. You are on par with the ACC now. Our other story on the Big Ten that's coming, obviously the Big Ten is going to be behemoth, but at this moment in time, I think we are very close now, as close as we have ever been to the extinction of the Pac-12. And our source confirmed to us this afternoon that Arizona State, and Utah have been talking as a group. They have communicated on this. This went back to last week with Colorado. And I think what we talked about on the show, and what a lot of people have talked about, frankly, that move by Colorado started conversations. I don't believe that Colorado is the reason these schools are leaving the Pac-12. I still maintain malfeasance, irresponsible management, terrible dealings in the television industry. That's why you are seeing these schools leave the Pac-12. But right now, today, I don't think there's any doubt that the final nail in this Pac-12 coffin, if you will, was in fact the presentation that was given yesterday afternoon. I think that pretty much cemented the idea that there is no future in the Pac-12. There is no promised land in the Pac-12. And I'll continue to say the dream that everybody in this conference continues to hang on to of somehow rising from the ashes like the Big 12 did, friends, it's time to let that go and get real about surviving as an athletic department. It's over. The dream is dead in the Pac-12. And Arizona State, and Utah, Jake, leaving those three, if they in fact are out, regardless of what the Big Ten does, the Pac-12 is dead.
Yeah, and I think that, as the two Arizona schools in Utah's movement gains traction, it's forcing the hand of the Big Ten, and I think that's the thing that we have to appreciate and understand is that if Arizona State, and Utah are going to leave the Pac-12, that basically ends the conference and essentially opens the door, obviously, to the Big Ten without guilt, right? Because remember that whole concept, right? We've talked about it a lot on the show that the Big Ten and really the Big 12 didn't want to be seen as two conferences raiding the Pac-12, and by raiding the Pac-12, killing the Pac-12. They didn't want to be seen as having blood on their hands, if you will. And so for me, when I look at this situation, it makes sense why the Arizona schools and Utah would operate together in a move. We've told you that for several months, that it wouldn't just be one team going, that these schools would group together and would move in what was called pods back then. So this is not surprising at all, this behavior. This is exactly what we felt like would happen. But I think the really interesting part of this is all this reporting on the Big Ten's activities and how aggressive the Big Ten has gotten in their conversations. Because, yeah, if Utah and the Arizona schools leave for the Big 12, the Pac-12 is dead. And now Utah, Washington, Stanford, and Cal need a home. So if they need a home and the Big Ten is willing to go, up to 20? You have to take them, in my opinion, because it just makes sense financially. And there was a lot of smoke about, well, hey, how are they going to pay for these schools? And you'll see a lot of these reporters saying that, the CBSs and the NBCs won't come back to the table. The truth of the matter is, we told you in May that those conversations already happened. Tony Petitti in the conference already knew that NBC and CBS would, in fact, come up with more money to pay for those four schools. So it's not a question of if the TV partners will pay for those schools. And the other question we keep getting is, well, what about Fox? Well, Fox is not a late window opportunity for the Big Ten. Fox controls big noon kickoff, right? So they're the early window. So when I look at what's happening with the Arizona schools in Utah, that basically, to me, makes perfect sense. No surprises. But through that, you're triggering the Big Ten, to which I say through that, you're triggering the end of the conference as we know it.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt. And I think, you look at this situation with Arizona State, and Utah. That's not where this conference ended. This conference ended with and lies is strong.
Mm-hmm.
The moment that Kirk Schultz began his tenure at Washington State, this conference died.
Facts.
And I think Kirk Schultz has been wildly irresponsible with his words. He is the subject of an ethics complaint right now at Washington State. He is a guy that, frankly, I think has constantly put out misinformation. And I think the great radio wizard of the Northwest, I can't help but believe that he has been fed information by Kurt Schultz. We saw it with Heather Dinich.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you look at some of the language that Kirk Schultz has used, and you listen to the things that he has said, and I just don't know, how is this guy the chairman of the board of directors in the Pac-12?
Media rights, where are we now? We've had really, really good conversations with major media outlets and recognizable ones. Everybody goes, oh yeah, I can click on the TV and watch that. Over the last 6 months, ESPN's a great example. They laid off a whole bunch of employees. Yeah. If you said, when would be the worst time in the last 6 years to try and negotiate a media deal, probably the last 5 months is going to be pretty close to the worst. And so what's been happening is we've continued to have those conversations with recognizable major media outlets. They're very interested in the Pac-12.
Only they weren't. They weren't very interested. And you add that to this news today, and then ask yourself, what is the impact of the horrendous messaging from George Kliavkoff, the commissioner of the Pac-12, on this league in regard to the Big Ten?
Does that mean you are confident that there will be no schools leaving for the Big Ten?
Listen, I think if schools would have left for the Big Ten, they would have left for the Big Ten already. And also what I will tell you is I'm very focused on things that are in my control. Things that are not within my control, I find no value in spending time on.
Well, what are you spending your time on? And maybe it's apropos that last picture in that collage that you saw there was with Michael Crow and Ray Anderson, the athletic director at Arizona State, Ray Anderson, because Ray Anderson was on a podcast early June. And of course, now today we on this show are breaking the news that Arizona State, and Utah are in the process of moving to the Big 12, according to our sources. Listen to what Ray Anderson said on June 13th.
Well, we're just very frankly, and Dr. Crow said this, and I've said this, we're solidly in the Pac-12, Pac-10. Call it what you want. It's the Pac. And that's where we really believe we belong and we want to be, with a lot of like-minded schools with very good competition and really elite academics. That's important to us. So we don't talk or think about other conferences, very frankly. At one point, there was some discussion last summer about whether or not with the ACC we might think of some scheduling alliance so that some of your non-conference competitions would be consistently with ACC teams and then get some continuity in the scheduling. But beyond that, very frankly, there's been no interest in talking about any of the other conferences. And I'll say it emphatically. I have no interest personally as the AD. I don't make the call finally. That would be the president and the Board of Regents. But I, as an AD, am very committed to the Pac-12.
I have no interest in other conferences. Fast forward to today, in fact, this morning, when Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe got a naming rights deal. And if you go look at Arizona State Sun Devil football on Twitter, it's comical. The comments section, they did a deal with a credit union for their new stadium. So, of course, the athletic director would be there. And, of course, because we are blood-sucking leeches in the media, of course, the media is going to ask that same Ray Anderson his thoughts on Arizona State and the Pac-12.
How do you feel? Where do you think it's going? How do you feel about it?
Well, I really, I know you have to ask, but we're not really commenting on that now because it's in a state where credibility is dependent on confidentiality. And so I can't respond to that other than to tell you I remain extremely hopeful and understand personally that no matter how it ends up, Arizona State will be in a good spot.
I'm sorry.
Ray?
No matter how it ends up, Arizona State's going to land in a good spot. Now, call me crazy. But did he listen to that Jed Fish podcast where Jed Fish a month ago said the exact same thing about Arizona?
Arizona's going to have a place to go. And that's what I tell our recruits.
Be all right.
That's what I tell our donors. That's what I tell our families of current personnel. We have a great brand, and we have a great basketball program, we have a great softball program, a great baseball program, and I believe we have the opportunity to have an incredible football program.
Yeah.
We're fine.
Yeah.
Where we play our road games, we'll wait and see for our president, but we are locked in and loaded for this season, and we're going to try to just be where our feet are, which is right now in the Pac-10.
Remarkable again how similar the language is. Remarkable. And so on the news today that our sources in the Pac-12 are telling us that Arizona State, and Utah are in fact working to move to the Big 12. And one other really interesting point, and admittedly, we didn't have a lot of time with this person we were talking to because it was a very quick conversation right before the show started. But this person said something that I thought was very interesting that now, once I talk to this person again, I'll ask. This person straight up said there's no Board of Regents to worry about. You don't have to worry about a Board of Regents. Like, the move is just like flippantly, the move is done. Now, you'll note that in executive session, as we told you, the Arizona Board of Regents met yesterday for about 27 seconds. and then went to executive session and talked about Arizona moving to the Big 12. And there is no question that we have been told repeatedly, they know, the Arizona Board of Regents are well aware that they cannot stop Arizona and Arizona State from acting autonomously, acting for themselves, separately of the other. But that both Michael Crow at Arizona and Bobby Robbins at Arizona and Michael Crow at Arizona State are well aware that they're stronger together. I think as soon as I heard that, it was a formality that Arizona and Arizona State were going to the Big 12.
Mm-hmm.
And it has been, I will say, and Jake, I don't know what you think, because Jake and I have the conversations together generally.
Mm-hmm.
You hear the same stuff that I hear when we're talking to these people.
Yeah.
I think there has been a pretty strong shift in tone from Utah. I think that Utah very much was the loyal Pac-12 soldier until it was time to survive.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like to me that the leadership at Utah, the leadership at Utah has seen the future and they recognize they have to act. They don't have a choice now.
Well, I think what's happened here is that, and again, Colorado's not the reason the conference is in the position it's in, right? But I think there's no denying that Colorado leaving ultimately shook people. Right?
Yes.
It surprised people. And whether you think it should have surprised people or not doesn't matter. The reality is it did. And so ultimately what's happened here, in my opinion, again, based on the conversations that I listened to, is that Colorado goes to the Big 12. And really, let's wind it back further. The media day thing happens. People start asking questions. Then Colorado goes to the Big 12. Then I think we get a phone call last week where someone's frustrated. And then this week, the tone has changed a little bit. It's as if it went from, as you said, hey, we're loyal to this conference. Yes, Colorado left, but if the group of 9 is still here, we can find a way to expand with San Diego State. And if George can just present us with anything doable with a media rights deal, we're going to stay together. But the tenor of that changed after George came up with essentially nothing in the Apple deal.
To your point, across the Pac-12 board, across the board.
Yeah.
Because we talked to a lot of different, like the person who called and lit us up last week over a tweet. And we tweeted about this. We took a ration of crap over the tweet.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, at this point, been proven justified. That person, by the way, did call us and apologize.
Mm-hmm.
That should be noted.
And I appreciated it.
But it's just that you can tell the pressure these schools are under.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest issue in the Pac-12 is athletic. You're supposed to be that person who's lucky to be here, and you just need to not make problems.
Mm-hmm.
That's what athletics in the Pac-12 feels like. Like, hey, I know I'm not supposed to be in the room, and I'm just going to be over here in the corner. I won't even fart. I'm not going to make noise, nothing.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like athletics are in the Pac-12. And anymore now, you can't be that.
Well, and I think Utah shifted that way as well in a sense where it's like, Utah, again, was the loyal soldier who was just trying to see the Pac-12 through. And at one point, I respected the concept of, hey, Brett, look, man, we appreciate the opportunity that you're giving us to come to the Big 12, but we got to know the number first. We got to know what we're actually looking at first. Okay, I can respect that.
Yes.
But now we're at a point where Colorado's gone. You know what the deal is. It's the writing's on the wall, and now it's gone. And this is the portion that I think people need to appreciate because it's happened very quickly. We've gone from, hey, we're loyal to the Pac-12. We need to see this thing through. Even though Colorado left, we're still loyal. We can expand with San Diego State, and we're still the Pac-10. We're good. We've gone from that to, hey, dude, this $15 million, PCA or PAC, whatever the nomenclature is, right? Like basically pay us every time we sign up someone on subscription with Apple. Like that setup isn't going to work for our conference. And it's especially not going to work for our conference when we've got a deal over here. So now Utah's been put in a position where they've said, okay, we have a good relationship with Bobby Robbins down at Arizona. We've told you that. It's not, it's just fact.
And let me read you. I was messaging with somebody about what the cost per acquisition could be, CPA, which is what Jake was
CPA
mentioning.
Yeah.
And this person works in TV, and so this person did some research and did some numbers. For a Pac-9 school to get paid Big 12 money, they would need to sell 3.7 million subscriptions for just that one school, not including production or distribution cost. The assumption is Apple keeps the ad revenue, the schools keep the subscription fees. I'm just not sure Pac-9 schools could sell that many subs. 36 million for the entire conference. Is there anybody, and that's pretty close, by the way, to the math that we were calculating on the show yesterday.
Yeah.
Because this is the second person who said, we talked to another TV person who said it's about 30 million subscriptions the Pac-12 would have to sell. Can you imagine that each one of these Pac-12 schools selling 3 million subscriptions to Apple TV? I can't. It was never going to work.
Well, and it goes back to the whole concept of TV viewership in general, right? Like we all know, hey, Oregon State or Stanford or Washington State or any of the lower tier schools in the Pac right now are not drawing 1 million people a telecast. When you compare them to like USC, Oregon, Washington, those schools that carry the water in the Pac-12, it would be the same thing. So let's not pretend or deny the fact that the big brands in the Pac, Utah, Oregon, Washington, those schools would need to sell 7, 8, 9 million subscriptions to cover up for the fact that Oregon State or Washington State can only sell 1 million. I mean, that's traditional economics in its perfect form, dude. Like, that's why I don't think you can do this deal at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I really struggle with the idea that we're going to label somebody in this conference. Oh, they're the ones that put a bullet in the conference. I don't think, and I think that's wholly unfair.
Yeah.
If you hang that scarlet letter on Colorado, right? Let's deal in fact. Colorado's left. If you're the one that says, well, Colorado's the one that killed this conference, they're not, though. Well, Arizona leaving, they're not, though. But what about Oregon, Washington? They're not, though. It's Larry Scott and then by continuation, George Kliavkoff. But really, it's the presidents in this conference.
Yeah.
It is the fact that you have multiple presidents at Stanford and now at Washington State that are involved in ethics issues, where you have the president at Stanford, who is a researcher by trade, having to resign after his ethics were called into question, which is wild to me.
Yeah.
You have Kirk Schultz, who's involved currently in an ethics complaint about him killing an investigation. And now he is sitting as the chairman of the board. He has routinely been the one that has fed the flames of negativity by consistently putting out, at least being polite about it, the exact wrong information about the TV deal. These are the people that are at fault here.
Yeah.
The Mark Tessier-Levine's at Stanford having to resign in humiliation. It's Carol, if you want to point to an administrator, Carol Fault, Carol Fault is not at fault.
If anything,
Carol Fault, her name
Carol
is Fault.
Fault and stuff.
She leaving with USC, I can see that might be the first act of treason, but it wasn't treasonous. It was survivalist.
Yeah, it goes further back than that. If anything, I would say Carol deserves credit for having vision, understanding. Yeah. Hey, this is where we are, because now that was a year and a month ago, right? Or what was that? Yeah, a year and a month ago or so, whatever that was. Like, you're talking about someone who evaluated the conference in her own opinion, said, hey, I see the Big 12's coming. I know they just hired a new commissioner. I know where Brett Yormark comes from. I know what he's capable of. I don't like the outlook right there. So she should not be blamed for where this conference is at. She simply should be given credit for having vision, just the same way Colorado is, just the same way Utah and Arizona are, right? They're not they're one in the same. Even though they've all left at different times, it's one in the same, dude.
You cannot blame Colorado, Arizona, Arizona State, or Utah. Arizona State, they're just stupidly incompetent.
Yeah.
Michael Crow has blindly supported Larry Scott and now George Kliavkoff, as is evidenced by the comments we played from Ray Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like a blind support. You're kind of a co-conspirator in the absolute incompetence that has taken place in this conference. But if you go back to our original reporting here on the Big Ten, and I think this is important because today the news broke that Oregon, Washington, Stanford, and Cal are joining the Big Ten. That broke today on August 2nd.
The Monty Show.
We have exclusively reported on this show the Big Ten has gone back to its TV partners. And remember who's involved in this deal. You've got Fox, who's got the early kickoff, big noon, Saturday, Big Ten, your mom's house, kicking off football on a Saturday on Fox.
Right.
Then the 3:30 window goes to CBS and the late window goes to NBC. CBS and NBC have agreed to come back to the table with a little more money and supply finances to bring in Stanford, Cal, Oregon, and Washington. Should that be available to them? Should that happen? I mean, that's, what is that, May 24th?
Yeah.
It's May 24th. Almost 3 months ago. So, hey, man, I think, based on what everybody else, like Dan Wetzel has been reporting today, that Tony Petitti has been doing due diligence on Oregon, Washington, Stanford, and Cal. I mean, maybe they've renewed that. They did their due diligence in mid-May.
Yeah, let's cut the crap here, right? Tony Petitti didn't just wake up today and be like, oh, yeah, well, today seems like a good idea to go ahead and call Phil
figure
Knight.
out if Phil Knight's legit.
Right. Today seems like a good day to see if Phil Knight can come up with a Big Ten special for week 1 next year. No, that's not what's going on here, dude. This conversation with these 4 schools being a, quote, package deal is not new. It's not broken today. It was broken then by us. And the point here is that Tony Petitti, much like Brett Yormark, I might add, is somebody who is not an administrator. He's not like an educational person.
Tony
This guy's
Petitti's
done business,
he's
dude.
a TV guy. He came from NBC. But I think it's hysterical. You'll remember we tweeted and took a ton of heat for this tweet. We tweeted that our sources had told us, well, hey, the Big Ten wants to add, but they don't want to be seen as raiding the Pac-12.
Right.
Dan Wetzel today said the key remains the Big Ten doesn't want to be predatory, would only move if other dominoes fall in the Pac-12.
So let's review. What did we just say to start the show? Utah, Arizona, and ASU are now together based on our sources moving to the Big 12.
Yes.
So now that that's happening, right? And I think it's a super important point when it comes to the Big Ten. Colorado going wasn't enough, and you need to understand that, right? Oregon, Washington, Stanford, and Cal. Remember, we're cleared and vetted, and everything was cool, and and if it were going to happen, those schools are ready to go. But Colorado wasn't the catalyst here for the Big Ten starting to move. It's now this conversation, and this is why I continue to tell you guys, don't buy into just the national reporter telling you something's happening. Because once they start reporting it, it's likely that they're 3 weeks behind on it. Honestly, and I'm not even being disrespectful. Their job is to report when they hear it from those people. Those people are never going to give it to those guys in current time, right? So that's why I say, trust me when I tell you guys.
Trust me, bro.
The Utah, Arizona schools relationship is why the Big Ten is now able to act.
Yeah, I would agree. And I think it is not surprising at all that you're seeing significant movement now. And I think this is, as our source said today, Colorado is just the beginning. Colorado's just the beginning. That's as straightforward as I think it needs to be said. And so, listen, if you're just tuning in, number one, please hit the like button. Appreciate everybody watching. And we are, in 30 minutes, we are well over 5,000 views already. So if you're watching, please hit the thumbs up. Give us a like. It really helps the channel grow. And if you are not, please consider subscribing. That, of course, is we're trying to get to 25,000 subs now. So please help us with that. If you are here, we appreciate everybody. But the news today, before we get to your comments, sources told us just before we came to air that the Pac-12 is going to likely lose Arizona, Arizona State, and Utah as a group to the Big 12. And very interesting, there's been a lot of questions about what the Arizona Board of Regents has to or does not have to do. The people that we've spoken to, there's a pretty strong belief there that the Arizona Board of Regents does not have to act to allow Arizona or Arizona State to move. There's a pretty strong belief that Arizona and Arizona State can do what they want to do. And I think that this executive session yesterday pretty well cemented that. I mean, I think it's pretty clear from what we've been told that Bobby Robbins at Arizona, the president, he pretty much is in control of this situation. Michael Crow and the Board of Regents are going to fall in lockstep with Bobby Robbins. And I can tell you that Bobby Robbins and Michael Crow, the president in Arizona State, have talked daily, multiple times about this situation. That's what we were told. I am told that Taylor Randall, Robbins, and Crow have all spoken regularly about this. This process is well down the road. Well down the road. So I feel really strongly that that is going to happen. I would think it's going to be a larger undertaking than just flipping a switch like Colorado had done. Because I don't believe that Utah had been in process of this at all until the weekend. I think once the weekend got here, that's when real serious conversations happen. Because the other thing you got to remember is all of these presidents knew the TV deals that were available to them. They knew this Apple deal was coming. This was not some, oh my God, he's got a deal. That's not what this was. This was already presented. They had already talked about this Apple option where 99% of the games were on Apple. One game a week was on probably ESPN on a Friday night. Your third best game on a Friday night on ESPN. They knew this was possible. They knew this was their deal. I think the Colorado situation, the animus in the conversations, because we were also told in the Pac-12 that the tenor and the tone of the conversations had changed, that there were a lot more presidents at the table willing to leave the conference. And by that, I mean they had indicated weakening support for the future of the Pac-12 in conversations that happened Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we're told that's where Bobby Robbins and Michael Crow and then Taylor Randall started talking about, hey, well, we probably have to do this because this conference is not going to survive. And I think their worst fears were confirmed Tuesday when that TV deal was presented yesterday morning. I think that was simply a confirmation. I don't think it was a revelation of any kind. I don't think it was any new information of any kind. I think it was simply a confirmation that the dream is over. It is dead now. It is time to move on from this conference. And I think that's why you're hearing today Arizona, Arizona State, and Utah now are having serious discussions with the Big 12 about those three capping off Big 12 expansion. And I think that's why today you're hearing Oregon, Washington, Stanford, and Cal are likely going to be invited to the Big 10 because now we see the road. Now we see the avenues. The path to the next iteration of college football is laid out, and it is very clear. You can stay in the Pac-12 and become irrelevant, or you can take Arizona, Arizona State, and Colorado and move to the Big 12. You can take the northern contingent of Oregon, Washington, Stanford, and Cal to the Big 10, and Oregon State and Washington State will eventually migrate to the Mountain West. I think that is almost surely to happen before kickoff of the college football season because there's not a conference commissioner in this country that wants this dragging into the season.
Yeah.
There are big games. Week 0 is pretty weak, But early in the season, for all of these schools that we are talking about, their football teams have very big games. The focus needs to be on football. That's the mantra in the world right now. The focus needs to be on football when we are playing football, not on conference realignment. And I think that's why you're getting that news today.
Well, and I think that's why a school like Colorado acts so swiftly.
Yes.
Right? Like, think about Colorado's situation. I mean, it might be quite literally the best example of what you're pointing out, which is, hey, dude, we can't have expansion or realignment be a distraction during Deion's first season, right?
No.
Like, we got to act and we got to have reliability, to which I say, schools like Utah, as we've been saying over and over, and I want to reiterate this because I know we've got folks up there that listen. Dude, I love Utah. I felt a little bit annoyed about how loyal they had been to the conference. But at the same time, I've said many times, and we have said many times, they're not stupid. They understand how to run a great university. So it doesn't surprise me that they picked up the phone and they said, okay, when there's no going back, we got to call good old Bobby down south and get this thing done.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt that that's how it went down. I want to remind you that we want to send you to see BYU and the Natty making history down in Provo, Utah, as BYU. Should I say pops their cherry? Is that inappropriate? I think that's an honor code violation at BYU.
Yeah.
As BYU takes their initial bow at Lavelle Edwards Stadium, they're going to play their first Big 12 conference game at home against the Natty on September 29th at 8:15. This Friday, we are going to announce a winner. Here's how you enter the contest. One of two ways. Keep kicking ass at Super Chicks because we've had so many people go into Super Chicks in Ogden on Riverdale Road. Also, our contingent down in St. George in the GZ. All you have to do is go in, take a picture of yourself at Super Chicks, take a picture of your food with a receipt that's got a date on it. Hit me on Twitter. Hit Jake on Twitter. The Monty Show. MONTY The Monty Show. SLC Jake. Hit him on Twitter. By the way, he has like 17 followers on Twitter.
This is inaccurate.
Can somebody please go follow Jake on Twitter?
Yeah, please. You know, I'm terrible at Twitter and X and stuff.
I'm sorry. Please. Follow Jake on X,
yeah,
please.
let's do some Xing.
DM us or tag us in your pictures. Tweet it out. We'll enter you in the contest. Now, a lot of people said, I need a better way to enter. I really want to win the tickets to the BYU game.
I want it.
Bucked Up Energy has stepped up to the plate, my friends. If you can't get the Super Chicks, show us you're bucked up. Every day at this time on the show, you know what we do. We hit a buckshot from Bucked Up Energy.
And again, points for creativity here, right?
Points for creativity.
Love all the Super Chick stuff we're getting. Keep going to Super Chicks. Love it. But points for creativity, man. Like, let's see what you can do as we pop some buckshot from Bucked Up Energy.
Man, I'll tell you, buckedup.com. Use the promo code Monty20 to get 20% off your purchase at buckedup.com. But you guys, show me a can of Bucked Up in your car. Show me you drinking a can of Bucked Up. Show me that you ordered Buckshot. Show me you ordered protein powder. Anything having to do with Bucked Up, show it to me. We'll enter you in the contest to win a pair of tickets to be in Provo as they open up their home Big 12 schedule, their first ever game at BYU in the Big 12 at home at Lavelle Edwards Stadium.
Hell yes.
One of the best venues for nighttime college football in the entire country. BYU, Cincinnati, September 29th. We're giving you a pair of tickets to be there. Go to Super Chicks in Ogden on Riverdale Road or in St. George, or show us you're bucked up. You do that, you're entered. We'll give you a pair of tickets on Friday. Now, everybody's been like, why are you doing it in Provo, Dick? Listen. You know the Big 12 runs through Dallas.
Tarrant County.
Texas. All hat. Bunch of cattle and shit.
Right.
So next week, for our Texas listeners.
Our contingent of Monty Nation.
Or anybody that's got a truck and can drive, or a car that can drive to Texas. Next week on this show, we are giving away a pair of tickets to what could be the most important game of the year. Yes! In the state of Texas. Texas. And you know, if there's a big game in Texas, telling you who's taking care of you, who's got your hookup. That's next week on the show.
Yeah.
A week from this Friday, we're going to give away a pair of tickets to a massive football game in Texas. We'll announce that on Monday. But now here, all you have to do is get to buckedup.com, place an order, send me a screenshot on Twitter.
Do it.
Go to the store, buy yourself some Bucked Up.
Do it.
Whatever you got to do. Get it done. We'll give you a pair of BYU tickets on Friday. Let's get your comments on the show. First one in today, Cleveland Rocks. Do you sell Monty merchandise, such as shirts, lanyards, and hats? Starting to think about Xmas gifts, and my son would love to have these items for you. If not, it's something you should think about. Well, for all of our old heads on this show, we have a merch line coming. Probably never, but a merch line is coming.
Yes, yes, yes.
It's been coming for years on this show. So have I, but that's off camera. The point is, a merch line is coming.
We're working on it.
Rocks. We will absolutely have it. Tom Dean for $10. Utah and ASU, Big 12. We don't want to leave our friends, right, guys? Guys, where are you going? Washington, Oregon, Stanford, and Cal. The Big 10. Later, bro. Utah and ASU. Hey, Big 12. What I had meant to say was, By the way, it is absolutely dumping outside. There is a massive storm going through the Monty compound right now. William Lorick gives us $5 to say Washington, Oregon, Florida State, Clemson of the Big 10. Yeah, I don't think so.
Congratulations, but that's bullshit.
We got to talk about this ACC thing because I think we've talked about this on the show for the last couple of weeks now. I'm burned out on Florida State bitching about how much money they make everybody else. Come out and win some games. Show me something. Because Bobby Bowden ain't coming through that door anytime soon. Right? Jimbo left already. Show me that you can win games. Their president's talking about how it's not it's financially inconceivable for Florida State to continue in the ACC. They're talking about at Florida State how it's a matter of when, not if. When, not if, Florida State will leave the ACC. Well, I mean, I know that you've got deep pockets over there at, SMU.
Are we clear on that?
But does Florida State have SMU money that they can afford to pay out $120 million in what is a rock-solid grant of rights? There's no getting out of the ACC grant of rights.
Well, that's the issue, isn't it?
I'd love to understand how Florida State and every Florida State fan that tweets at the show's like, we're out of here, bro. I understand you're jealous of all the Pac-12 jailbreaking happening. I totally understand that, right? You're locked in $120 million grant of rights. How are you going to change that? You're not.
So fucked.
I mean, it is truly, and I go back to what Bob Bowlesby talked about. Who did the ACC model their grant of rights after? That'd be the Big 12. It's lock solid. It's over. You're not getting out of that unless there is a historically dramatic change in direction in the ACC.
Uh-huh.
But I think it's 9 members you need to break the grant of rights.
I'm for real.
And then you still got to pay the $120 million. So either way, you're scratching a check for $120 million.
And, by the way, if you were leaving the conference, that wouldn't happen in time near enough to join the Big Ten right now.
Like, am I the only one who thinks it's completely ridiculous that Florida State thinks that they are the bell cow of college sports? Like, who are you, dude? Florida State's that guy that walks in the room and is like, all right, I'm here. We can start. And you're like, I think you're in the wrong place, bro. Who the fuck are you? What's your name? Like, you don't even look familiar to me. Who are you? Like, wait, you don't even know who they are.
Yeah, Florida State and the Jameis Winstons. Come on, dude.
Yeah, the crab thief at Publix.
Come on.
I'm serious. I'm over Florida State's line of, we're the victims and we make more money. They gave you unequal revenue sharing so you would shut up.
Yeah.
And yet all you do is run your gums and you don't win big games.
Yeah.
And I'm over it with Florida State. I'm so listen, if Alabama or Clemson or Georgia or even stupid Southern slur down at LSU, like, hey, man, if those guys want to run their mouth, run your mouth. Like, you've won shit. What has Florida State done to be like, oh, man, you know what, man, we're victims over here. Listen, we over here at the Florida State University Victims' Rights Advocacy Conference, like, we need assistance.
Yeah, we're first team all frog legs and no cattle. You know what I mean?
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I don't get it with Florida State. And I'm probably just being a jerk about it. But, yeah, I don't know. Hey, everybody, welcome Expedition Greg.
Let's go, baby.
Expedition Greg, welcome to the membership. We appreciate you, as well as Sunny.
Let's go. It's always sunny, except for in South Jordan, Utah and stuff.
Yeah, where death is coming. Hell has opened up its butthole, and it is raining. It is, I mean, dude.
It's butthole.
It's a little bit of rain over here. Right? Janus. Somebody sent me some galoshes. Do you know what galoshes are?
No.
No, neither. You probably don't. Matthew I, what's up for $2? Does today's news expedite Arizona State, and Utah to the Big 12? I think it does.
Yeah, it does.
I think it does.
Absolutely.
I think there are some logistics that you're going to have to figure out. Certainly there are logistics you're going to have to figure out. I think that's going to take a week to 10 days. If you want to do this in a hurry, and there is some belief that Brett Yormark gave a deadline, a drop-dead date, I am told if they are in the process, that doesn't matter. You're in the process, you've said yes, let's roll. I'm told that doesn't, you're good to go. Because a lot of people on Twitter today are like, oh, it's too late, the drop-dead date is passed. Well, if it's leaking out today, it's been going on for a couple of days.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So I don't worry about that at all. My biggest question is, how does this change Big 12 football? Because I think if you add Arizona State, and Utah to BYU, Houston, Cincinnati, Central Florida, that's a completely different league now.
Well, and I think you're trending towards being not only the best basketball conference in the country, but you're trying to push your way to being one of the top football conferences in the country. And geographically speaking, they would be. You'd be in four time zones. But I think, you still have to win. And I think, for Big 12 fan, this is what I would caution you with. Yes, you're having huge success in realignment and expansion, no doubt about it. But at the same time, if Utah joins your conference and you don't win anything, and Utah continues to lose bowl games of consequence, it doesn't matter, right? If TCU can't find their way back into the playoff, it doesn't matter. Now, lucky for you, the college football playoff is expanding, right? So now there's a ton more opportunity. So you would think that the Big 12 certainly would have the most representation in the college football playoff in a 4-conference setup, right? So to me,
absolutely,
I look at the Big 12 and I say, yeah, they're going to be, or they will have a strong case as being the best athletic conference in the country, just top to bottom. Now, the winningest, that's a different conversation, but most quality top to bottom, I think the Big 12 is pretty damn close to that.
Yeah, and I think if you look at, because who is the best of the best? Well, right now today it's Texas. I think Texas is the best team in this conference.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously that's irrelevant. Texas and Oklahoma are out. I think if you look a year from now, and let's assume Arizona State, Colorado, and Utah are in the conference. I won't say it the right way because I don't have to. It's my show, and I'll do whatever Jake tells me to.
It's not the Jake show. It's the Monty show,
It's not the Jake show. He wipes back to front.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's fine. I would tell you that Utah's the best football team in the conference right now. The minute that they start playing Big 12 football, because I think they're on par with TCU and K-State, who I think you'd have to put there. And again, Mike Gundy, I'm looking at you, dude. Like, is Mike Gundy going to get back to, being a man who's 40? I don't know.
Yeah.
Because that's the Mike Gundy we need.
Yeah.
What is...
I'm a man!
Does Kansas keep climbing? Because Kansas and Arizona are remarkably similar in football, right?
Yeah.
I look at this conference, and I think A year from now, assuming Utah's in it, Utah, TCU, and K-State, I think you got to look at what Joey's doing in Lubbock, because I still maintain that Texas Tech has a chance to be the shocker of this conference. There is no doubt about that. They have a chance to be the shocker of this conference this year.
Yeah. This
could be a stacked football conference. The minute that Arizona State, and Utah are in the Big 12, they're better than the Big 10.
Yeah, if I'm talking about top dogs in the Big 12 with additions assumed, Texas is one, just because this year, I think talent-wise, you just have to put them there. I'm the guy who said they're overrated as hell. They haven't won a damn thing, and they disappoint every single year. And I'm still that guy. But that doesn't change the fact that on paper, you got to put them number one. I'd have TCU number two. I would then
put
have
TCU number two.
Yeah, because they've been to the national championship. Like, you've been there.
Okay.
Like, you've actually shown you can win the bowl game, you can work your way through the college football playoff, and you can get to the game at least. So I'm putting TCU there. Then I would put Utah there. And then I think it's everybody else at that point. I think no matter what program you look at, whether you want to look at new additions or current, I mean, they've got a lot to prove, dude. I look at Baylor. Blake Shapen's got to show me something. I look.
But I don't think Blake's their starting core. I think Dave Aranda has to show us something.
Yeah.
Excuse me, because I don't think they're there. I don't think Blake Shapen's there next year.
Well,
it is. I think when you look at, and this is what will happen with Utah. Everybody's going to say Utah's overrated. You're just a homer. I'm not a Utah fan, right? I'm a Notre Dame fan.
Well, you're a dying Mormon BYU fan.
Right. I'm 50 and I'm fat and I'm going to die soon. That was according to Oklahoma State fan.
Right.
But he was wrong. It's fine.
Because it's garbage.
I couldn't be further away from the LDS Church being a recovering Catholic if I tried. But the point is, Utah will have a stellar defense.
Yeah.
Their quarterback depth chart is as good as it's ever been. Their offensive line is going to be fantastic for the next 3 years. There's nothing that you will see from Utah that would make you think that they are weak or could not compete at the top of this conference. They don't have to ramp up. They've already done that. So they're in a better spot than BCU. I combined a bunch of BYU, Houston, UCF, or Cincinnati, who all have to ramp up.
Yeah.
Utah immediately jumps them. They're better than Kansas. They're better than Oklahoma State's been. Like, it's going to be hard to make an argument. And we need to see it, because I got to believe that Sonny Dykes and TCU backslides a little bit. As good as they were last year.
Yeah.
It's so hard to repeat at that level. Oh, by the way, Utah does that routinely. In a conference that is absolutely ball-crushing in football in the Pac-12.
Yeah.
I think Utah comes in. I think they're the best team in the conference as soon as they kick off in that conference.
I am open to the idea, and everyone really should be, that Utah's schedule gets easier joining the Big 12, not harder. I absolutely believe that, and I think
did you feel the building shake right there?
Yes, the building just shook from thunder. That was
There's
crazy.
thunder. There's thunder that is shaking the building right now.
Yeah. More comments. What are the people saying? More
All
comments.
right, let's fight over it, because you guys clearly are likes to
more
fight
comments.
guys. Let's do that. Let's see. Oh, wow, look at that. Robert Satterley gives us a $50 super sticker.
Go.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Big Bad Brass Bowls. Still one of my favorite names. You're way too high on Utah. Get off that cheap drug. But again, and balls, I'm happy to have it. Well, what else am I going to call
If you
him?
felt these balls.
What else am I going to call him?
Balls.
Hey, balls. Got to have a hand motion there.
Yeah.
Seriously, think about it. What does Utah not have? Brant Keithy's a hundo P, right? So the best tight end in the country's back. You have Cam Rising. And I agree that Cam is not an elite level. He's not a top 10 quarterback in the country.
But he's good enough to win you ball games.
He is good enough to win you a national championship.
All I have in this world is my balls.
When does Cam Rising show up? Now, he misses that throw against Florida. But he shows up in big moments. He shows up in big games.
Yeah.
And the guy is an absolute animal. Now, he gets hurt being that animal, but Cam Rising in a big moment, there are a few quarterbacks I would take over him. Is he Michael Penix? Is he Caleb Williams? No, absolutely he's not. But you look at the way that Max Duggan carried TCU last year, there's no reason that Cam Rising isn't in that same class.
Right.
He's absolutely in that same class. Their defense is better than your defense.
That I would agree with.
Kyle Whittingham,
Big 12, no
and
doubt.
I get it. A lot of people don't know this, and I'm not even begrudging people who don't believe, agree, know this. But trust me, you're wrong if you believe that Kyle Whittingham's defense isn't the best defense in your conference.
Yeah.
And the only way that he ever proves you wrong is they come and they step on your chest, bro. They are physical, they are fast, and they are ball hawks.
Yeah.
That Utah defense up in Salt Lake City, I warn you now, do not sleep on that defense. You want to complain about explosiveness in the offense, play calling, conservatism? Knock yourself out.
Yeah.
Do they run the ball too much? Probably. But don't say two words about their defense because the Utes are coming for that neck, dude. I promise you that at a baseline. They will come in and they will be the best defense in your conference. And I would put them with Texas. I think Texas has more athletes, but Texas and Utah's defense,
yeah,
those are two of the best defenses in the country. I put them with Georgia. I put them. You pick your best defense in the country. Kyle Whittingham's defense at Utah is right there. Offense, okay, we can talk about that. But by the way, they've always had a mail carrier on that offense.
Yeah,
always. They put running backs in the NFL now. Always, unless they're crazy and going to jail. Different story.
Yeah, they don't have first-team SRT issues.
They don't. Tom Dean, Big 12, 4 time zones, East, Central, Mountain, and Arizona. See, I mean, Brett's getting what he asked for, right?
Yeah, I mean, he wants 4 time zones. He wants to be, nationwide. So I don't. Again, if you're Brett Yormark, you're living good right now.
Let's see, Big Bad Brass Bulls, a member for 2 months. Love you and your balls. I'm in it for the. I can't help myself.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm in it for the long haul. Go, Monty and Jake. Appreciate you. Richard Berger gives us $5. Thank you. Couple of new members to shout out. Puddles.
Ducks fan. Okay. Welcome to the program.
Puddles. How are you? Mahomes Mountain. I could have said some stuff about our previous incarnation of Duck Fan on this show.
Yeah, but you didn't.
But I did.
Give Buddy a chance to dig his own hole.
Or splash in his own puddles. Mahomes Mountain, welcome to the show. Appreciate you. Rick Jr. says, who do you think was worse for the Pack, Larry Scott or George Kliavkoff?
Oh, I think they're even just in their own ways, sir.
I think there is significant reason to believe that George Kliavkoff has created far more problems from the problems he was handed, because Uncle Monty always has life advice for you. The problem's not the problem. The problem is your reaction to the problem.
Okay, fuck you. How's that?
Larry Scott didn't have a TV deal? Okay, go get a TV deal. Oh, you didn't do that? Okay. Well, your reaction to Larry Scott's problem is you didn't.
You have a deal.
Right? Hey, yeah, we're not going to. Screw the Holiday Bowl. Yeah. Problem. Hey, we're not going to expand. Problem.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not going to have good relationships with my presidents, so they're going to leave the conference. Problem. Those are all George Kliavkoff's doing. Oh, we're going to have this amazing scheduling alliance, and never had a scheduling alliance.
Nope.
Problem. Couldn't expand. Problem. People hate you. Problem.
People hate you.
You choke on your own saliva every time you have to make a speech. Problem.
It's not the best situation, and we all know that.
Your problem is you're the problem.
Bro.
Right? Patrick Borden says Georgie Porgy. There we go. Jess says, just sub. Great content, gents. Keep it up. Thanks, Jess. Appreciate
you.
And if everybody who's here, we've had over 10,000 views on the show this 1 hour. If you guys could hit the like button, we'd like to get 1,000 likes per show. Please do that. There's 2,753 people watching the show right now. If you guys could If you are not subscribed, please subscribe. We're trying to get to 25,000 subscribers by kickoff. We're at 21,100. So we appreciate you doing that. Welcome to the Monty Show. As always, hour number one of the show is presented by our good friends at Papa Murphy's Pizza. The official pizza of the Monty Show is Papa Murphy's Pizza, where, by the way, the best item at Papa Murphy's Pizza is not always the pizza, my friends. Quite regularly, it's the marinara meatball.
At Papa Murphy's, we do more than just pizza. We do meatballs and marinara.
Actually, I do the meatballs and marinara.
And how do you do it, Dad?
How do I do it? How do I do it?
Order now at papamurphys.com.
Papa Murphy's Pizza, the official pizza of the Monty Show. Download their mobile app. You can order online pretty easily through their app. Order it at 4 a.m. for a 4 o'clock pickup. Boom, done. Out of here. Easy peasy. Papa Murphy's Pizza. Tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show. By the way, there is a lot of Florida State talk coming out now. The ESPN is spinning it as breaking news. Holy shit. Florida State would leave the ACC.
Boom. Out of here.
No kidding. Thank you.
Thank you for reinventing the wheel.
Thanks, Thamel. Because we didn't know that already.
Yeah.
Florida State, and in the comments section, I'd love to hear you on this. Am I making too much out of this Florida State situation? Because it's really frustrating to me that in the ACC, you signed a 67-year grant of rights. Right? I mean,
bro, you can't even say it with a straight face, dude.
What is it? Doesn't end till 2037.
The ink isn't dry yet.
You knew that when you signed it. You signed it because at the time, the ACC grant of rights was a really good grant of rights.
Yeah, the original,
right?
The OG ACC grant of rights went to 27, I think, or something like that, or like 26, and they then extended into 31, 32. So nobody here is going to have some pity party over Florida State. I understand, and I don't even disagree. Florida State is an SEC brand, in my opinion. They could be in the SEC. They could be in the Big Ten. They'd be just fine. They'd win less games in the SEC, but they'd fit right in my opinion. For me, I get why they're upset. That doesn't mean that you're going to just break your grant of rights. I get it. Florida State's president is out here talking about how he wants a radical change to the current setup. Yeah, what do you think's happening in the Pac-12, dude? What do you think's happening in the Big 12?
But you've spent the better part of a year, by some people's belief system, Florida State, like this group of pissed off ACC members, has spent the better part of a year paying lawyers looking for loopholes in the ACC grant of rights.
Which I understand.
And they couldn't find one.
Yeah.
You paid lawyers to do this, and they said, yeah, you're screwed.
No.
Pay $120 million or get what I think it is. And if somebody wants to correct me on this, I believe it's 9 members all need to agree to break the grant of rights. And here's the biggest problem for Florida State. You just shat all over all the other members of your conference when you said, nobody else in this conference makes money but me.
If you ain't first, you're last.
So we want all the money down here. Rock, Chalk, Seminole.
I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence.
Bobby Bowden and stuff.
Right.
Like you've spent years ripping these other members of your conference now, saying how bad Virginia is and Virginia Tech, and you're always going to crap on Miami. I get that, right? But you're just going after your fellow ACC members, and now you want them all to help you get out.
Okay, fuck you.
You want the rest of the members who you said were just terrible friends. I don't want to be friends with you guys anymore. Hey, but could you help me make a lot more money in the Big Ten or the SEC?
Please.
Why would they help you?
They wouldn't.
You've invested money in lawyers who said there's no way out.
And I think the best point remains, in addition to why would they help you? Dude, why would they want to get out of that grant of rights? Where's Boston College going, bro? Where is low-end, nobody cares about you ACC school going?
Dude.
That's my question. Boston College is a brand, or is a good brand.
Yes.
They're not a bona fide, hey, gotta have him in a P5 brand.
But who's fighting over Florida State? Like, do you really think the Big Ten's like, dude,
bro?
I don't think they're a fit in the Big Ten. I'd rather see them go to the SEC. I think regionally speaking, Florida State in a conference championship game. Come on now. But my point is, I understand that FSU as a brand is attractive, but if there's going to be a situation where winning matters, shouldn't you have to win something before you start running your mouth?
Like, look at some of these teams. Georgia Tech, Boston College, right? Like, NC State.
Me crazy.
Syracuse. Wake Forest, bro. Like, come on, man. If anybody should be bitching about their grant of rights and their situation, it should be Clemson. Clemson's the team where you're like, hey, dude, you guys won a ton while Trevor Lawrence was there.
Yes.
Dabo's done a great job.
Yes.
Totally get why you
Natties, you've played for Natties, you've won Natties, 17 head, like, was awesome for you.
Yeah, dude.
Like, I get it. Dabo built this game on, name, image, and likeness, and he's the son of a Jewish carpenter.
We built this program on NIL.
Totally get it.
In God's name, image, and likeness.
Dabo,
we really did.
Dabo's a pimp, dude. But I understand almost.
Yeah.
Clemson wanting to get feisty.
Yeah.
When's the last time Florida State was truly relevant?
Back when Jimbo was there. That's when. When was that? What was that? 2015?
Willie Taggart come on now. Come on now. Be better. LV Seminole. You should know. Florida State frustrates the hell out of me. If they raise that buyout to get out of the ACC, that's crazy. Leadership there is arrogant as well.
Yeah.
How many leaders are arrogant? It's isn't it crazy? How many leaders are arrogant? And there's a ton of them. Look at that. Charles, not Barkley, Barkey. Charles Barkey, who's got a beautiful wedding photo, by the way, is our newest member.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go, you guys. Appreciate that. John Teal gives us $20 to say all George had to do was take the damn deal. Once locked in, stack that by signing San Diego State and SMU, Fresno State and Tulane in the bullpen.
Yeah.
But what deal do you have to take? I think the biggest issue is what we reported back in over the holidays, I think it was, that they should have had merger talks with the Big 12. ESPN sources told us straight away, hey, we asked George Kliavkoff and Brett Yormark to have talks about merging their leagues. Brett Yormark said, yes, we will have conversations, no problem. George Kliavkoff, from our sourcing, was not willing to even entertain it.
Yeah.
Would not even get on a call to talk about merging the Pac-12 and the Big 12. That's the mistake that he made that cannot be undone. Because I think that's the moment. And if I recall right, I believe that happened in October after the exclusive negotiating period thing was well underway. And that's where he lost ESPN forever.
Yeah.
That's where he lost him forever, man. There's no unwinding that watch. There just isn't.
Yeah.
There is not. Let's see. Eagle Eye Mojo Sullivan gives us 99 cents. Thank you. Kelsey Hamer gives us $2 to say Kyle Whittingham, NCAA Hall of Fame for his defensive prowess and just program building.
Yeah.
Lonnie gives us $2. Thank you. Rick gives us $2. Thank you. Appreciate that. Kaufman says Utah won't have all these players next year. Don't forget they won't join till next year. Well, but Kyle Whittingham has been a very strong recruiter.
Yeah, and the pipeline's working, dude.
And if you're saying, hey, we're going to the Big 12, we're going to be in the Big 12, man.
Listen, I want to play this Jed Fish thing one more time because now that this is where we're at in the conversation, those comments by Jed Fish really bring on a new light as far as like, hey, where head coaches are in this concept. Like, hey, are you telling kids you're going to be in the Pac-12 or are you telling kids you're going to be in the Big 12?
Arizona's going to have a place to go.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I tell our recruits.
Be all right.
That's what I tell our donors. That's what I tell our families of current personnel.
Mm-hmm.
We have a great brand. And we have a great basketball program, we have a great softball program, a great baseball program, and I believe we have the opportunity to have an incredible football program.
Yeah.
We're fine.
Yeah.
Where we play our road games, we'll wait and see for our president. But we are locked in and loaded for this season, and we're going to try to just be where our feet are, which is right now in the Pac-10.
Pac-10.
So, if we think about this, is it really that far-fetched if Bobby Robbins had said the Jedd Fish as an example? Hey, dude, not official, not 100%. Don't be telling kids we're definitely going. But, hey, right now where we're at in the conversation, we're 70-30 going to the Big 12. I would feel comfortable while you're recruiting you saying that. Would anyone be surprised by that? I mean, these are the kind of conversations as a president and as an AD that you have to have with your head coach.
Why wouldn't you be saying that?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that's the kind of communication that happens behind the scenes. So when Dave Hickey, right, is rolling up to the conversation with Bobby and with Jed, those three need to get together and say, hey, dude, what is our strategy right now? Because we're in flux. Like if you wind the clocks back 3 months, right, when we were really in gray area, we really weren't sure, hey, how are they going to get a TV deal? What's the future of this conference look like? Like, where are we headed? At that time, dude, if you're Bobby Robbins, Dave Hickey, Taylor Randall, Mark Harlan, dude, if you're Michael Crow, Ray Anderson.
If you're Dan Lanning at Oregon.
Dan Lanning, another great point. Do you understand the balls it takes for Dan Lanning to stand up there and roast Colorado in the way he roasted Colorado? And then, is it any surprise? Remember, this is last week. Was it Monday? It might have been last week. I can't remember.
No, it was Monday.
It was Monday. So Monday, Dan Lanning goes out and says this right here.
Not a big reaction. I mean, I'm trying to remember what they won to affect this conference. I don't remember. Do you remember them winning anything? I don't remember them winning anything.
That's it. Thanks, Coach.
All right, appreciate it.
So now we're supposed to be so surprised that Tony Petitti woke up today and all of a sudden Oregon and Washington are attractive to the Big Ten.
You knew as soon as he said that, you knew
dude.
Three things. Nobody in Colorado is ever going to like Oregon, ever.
Yeah.
Nobody in Colorado wants Oregon in the Big 12.
Yeah.
Nobody in the Big 12 wanted to hear that, and Oregon was going to the Big 10.
Yeah.
As soon as that came out Monday.
And again, I'm just going to keep pointing this out. Colorado and Oregon, September 23rd, I think it is. Like, let's go.
Dude, Deion is going to get his ass handed to him in that game.
He is.
But you have to give Dan Lanning credit because I love a guy who's like, I don't care. I am going to speak my mind. I don't care about you, Deion. I know it's Louis, but I don't care. We're the Ducks. You're
not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
He just got paid like a massive contract. Like, I love that Dan Lanning said that. I wish more coaches in this country would be like, yeah, they suck. Well, listen, coach, you've got Poughkeepsie State this week. Any thoughts on the club? Yeah, they're fucking terrible. You know, we're going to roll over them. Why don't we talk about, we got Alabama in 2 weeks. Why don't we talk about them? Anybody want to talk Alabama? Like, I wish coaches would do that. And look, I understand Appy State's going to beat Michigan. Look, how awesome would that be if, it's SMU. No, like if Texas had SMU and then Baylor. Well, look, SMU's this week. I get that. But I really want to talk about, Baylor and Dave Aranda. I can't wait to kick their ass. That's what we need. So Dan Lanning saying that is phenomenal. But yeah, I think that was a real tell. I think that was a real tell.
Yeah.
Expedition Greg for $5. Soon, all or most of Notre Dame's main rivals will be in the Big Ten, including their chief West Coast rivals, USC and Stanford.
Okay, I don't view Stanford as a rival to Notre Dame.
What did we talk about today?
Yeah.
What did we talked about this. What did I say earlier? At what point does Notre Dame get forced to join the SEC? At what point? Because if you go to from, what are they at, 14 now or whatever, to 20, you're not adding Notre Dame. It's over. As soon as they add those 4 teams, Oregon, Washington, Stanford, and Cal. It's over for Notre Dame in the Big Ten.
Door closed.
And let's not forget, Notre Dame football is a free agent. They are not locked into the ACC grant of rights.
Yeah.
So if you're the SEC and you can add Notre Dame football only,
why would you not?
Who says no?
Why would you not?
Who says no?
I mean,
by the way, are you going to tell me that ESPN says no to Notre Dame home games on ESPN and ABC?
Come on.
Who says no?
Come on.
Because how are you going to add them to the Big Ten?
Yeah, I'd be curious to see how Notre Dame's NBC relationship / NBC's relationship with the Big Ten gets molded and changes.
Because I also think you're going to have to, everybody is going to have to play 9 conference games. You have to.
Yeah.
Well, that screws Notre Dame.
Yeah.
It truly does. Because the days of these P5s playing, Jimmy John's, tire balancing academy, those days are coming to an end.
You mean Notre Dame?
Do you think I am beyond violence? Why do you say hurtful? See, you say hurtful things like that.
My bad. That was probably too aggressive.
Wow.
Damn.
Dude, I don't know if you guys
Bro,
heard that.
that was wild.
There's a big storm rolling through the Monty Show compound. Anyway, like the whole desk is
literally,
shaking.
the whole building is shaking right now.
From thunder, and the whole thing is shaking. Wild. But Notre Dame's going to run out of scheduling. I think eventually this is the only thing that puts Notre Dame in a conference. And if they add Oregon, Washington, Stanford, and Cal to the Big Ten, Notre Dame will wind up in the SEC. Because where else would they go? You really think Notre Dame's going to the Big 12? Hell no. Do you really think they're going to the ACC? Hell no. They're going to wind up in the SEC.
And I think that's brilliant business, though. Seriously. And I think, what's really interesting, just as conference realignment continues to roll, the SEC is going to be faced with the conundrum of, hey, dude, we're running out of options in the Pacific time zone rapidly, right? And I know just because you have 4 time zones doesn't mean that you're the best conference out there. But I do think when we start to evaluate how TV partners look at conferences, nobody cares how many games Alabama wins when they're talking about, hey, how much are we paying or what's this or what's that, right? They're not looking at how many wins you have. They're looking at, okay, like in the Big Ten with Oregon, Washington, Stanford, and Cal. Why does the Big Ten want those 4 schools? Well, firstly, there's a couple reasons. Number one, you need travel partners for SC and UCLA. I'm tired of hearing about how you're going to marry up ladies lacrosse with the men's football team to make travel
better. But I also
better.
think you need travel partners for the rest of the Big Ten so that they're not just going to Los Angeles to...
Right, so you need travel partners.
You need balance.
Yeah, you need travel partners, but I also think for NBC, CBS, and Fox, and more NBC and CBS, you need balance in the late window. So you need more matchmaking ability in the late window for your TV partners. So if you're the SEC and your relationship is primarily with ESPN, dude, SEC football is done pretty much by what? 7 o'clock out west? Like if you're a West Coaster, SEC football is done by like 7:30, and you're on to Big Ten. You're on to, if the Big 12 happens to be playing a late one. So that's why I say, if you're the SEC, that challenge is coming. Now, it's not coming anytime soon. You've probably got 10 years until that becomes a real issue for you, right? And once you start negotiating the next round of contract, then when I think that would be more of an issue. Yeah. But that's why I think Brett Yormark wants to be out west more. That's why I think the Big Ten wants to get involved now, because they see, hey, if we can get 4 time zone representation, that's going to put certainly the ACC in a real freaking problem. And the only reason it doesn't put the SEC in a problem is because they have Alabama and Georgia, and they can give you the bird.
But I also think, and I can't remember who said this. I want to say Greg Sankey may have said this. You need the western half of the United States to prosper in college athletics.
No doubt about it.
If you truly want to have a national sport of college football and college basketball, because I don't really think anybody thinks college baseball is national. College softball is national. It's regional. It's actually part of what makes college baseball and really all stick and ball sports tremendous.
Yeah.
College football and college basketball have to be national sports.
Well, and I think that, and I'm not even joking, hockey is coming in college. Like, the growth of college hockey is massive right now.
Notre Dame is a college hockey.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like Notre Dame. Powerhouse, dude. They are. They absolutely are. No doubt about it.
The leprechauns lift. The point is, I think there's a lot of lifting to be done. I think there's a lot of work to be done, and it's going to be very interesting to see how all that plays out.
Yeah.
This hour of the show is presented by our good friends at TryDayTrading.com. Have you guys done it yet? Have you gotten the $10 30-day free trial membership from TryDay Trading? Now, you're like, Monty,
hey, Monty.
Look, I know you're crazy and you're a Notre Dame fan, so you're stupid, but $10 is not free. Au contraire, mon frere. It's a charitable donation. You donate $10 to TryDay Trading. They give it to charity. It's a tax write-off for you. And you get their entire day trading university program, because that's what it is. It's school to learn how to become an elite day trader at TryDayTrading.com. For 30 days, the entire kit and caboodle, and then you're going to make a decision. You're going to do what just about every other listener on this show has done. You're going to get to that 30 days, and it's not going to be soon enough that you can sign up, because it is a really good program, and it's what I say every day. Did you make $1,000 at work today? If you didn't, TryDayTrading.com/Monty. Hey, do you hate your boss, or you're pissed you got to go back to the office? Are they asking you to locate to a hub city? Did you guys hear about that this week? AT&T is forcing their employees to move to hub cities. Forget that. Keep your kids at home. Work for yourself. Start your own business as a day trader with TryDayTrading.com. You want to do it part-time, $300 to $500 a day? What if I said you can make $2,500 a week on a side hustle that requires an hour a day?
Yeah.
TryDayTrading.com. Make the money you want to make, that you deserve to make, that you've dreamed of making. Take your family to Disneyland by signing up for a 30-day trial membership for a $10 charitable donation. TryDayTrading.com/Monty. Make sure you tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show. And yes, in fact, it is true. Somebody asked me yesterday, does TryDay Trading really give you their own money to trade with? They do. When you graduate the program, they open an account for you and they fund it. They put money in there for you to make your first trades as a day trader. When you make money with their money, you keep 80% of the profit.
It's real.
TryDayTrading.com. All right, let's roll through your comments. You guys have been fantastic. We have had a phenomenal month on the show. Let's keep that going. Make sure you hit the like button. We are just 47 likes away from 1,000 today. So please get us there. There's 2,500 people watching the show. Hook it up. Hit the like button. Where are we at? Let's see. Big Bad Brass Bulls. I've been listening to other shows. What?
What? You traitor, bro. Dude, you went to the dark side.
He says, please forgive me. The belief is that the Big Ten and the SEC will soon go to 20 teams or more. Does the Big 12 do that too? I think at some point. At some point. I think we are going to get to a place where this ACC situation is going to have to get vetted out. Somebody's going to have to do something. And my belief is you're not going to be able to take the ACC to court and break that grant of rights.
No, and I think that the issue is that, unfortunately, you signed a contract and now you're going to be held to it. And so while the Big Ten and the SEC are eating and the Big 12 tries to keep up, while those three conferences are eating, you're basically handcuffed to your chair and can't do anything. You get to sit here and watch. And while UCF went to the Big 12, Houston, BYU, the Natty, all your schools get to sit here and bitch and moan about not getting to a better situation.
That's right.
And that's just what it is. So that's why I say, like, Florida State fan, brass at Florida State, like, all you Florida State people can bitch and moan till you're blue in the face, right? Till you're just over it. The reality is you signed a contract and that's the end of it. Like, that's it. There's no getting out of it.
Operate quietly behind the scenes to get out of it.
Yeah. But they're not going to do that.
But they're not going to do that.
They want to be forceful about it.
Eclectic Cowboy for $5. This is where I tuned out. You're always too high on Utah in the pack. Can't even win a New Year's Six bowl. Winning matters. Unfortunately, so does losing. So let me get this right. We're too high on Utah. So then the ultimate bar is you have to win a national championship, a New Year's Six bowl. So winning back-to-back Pac-12 conferences doesn't matter. and the fact that USC, Oregon, Washington, and Utah are 4 of the 10 best teams in the country, according to most football people. But I'm too high on the Pac. So this is where I lose you. How has that been inaccurate?
Yeah.
Has Utah won a non-conference game? They haven't. You're exactly right. You're exactly right. They've got 2 massive ones with Baylor and Florida this year. Are they going to win those games? We're going to find out. I think, obviously, they're going to Waco. That's a hell of a place to go. But obviously, Florida is coming to Rice-Eccles up in Salt Lake. We'll find out.
And I might add, in fairness, right? And again, I'm not trying to be controversial. Utah had opportunities to win that Florida game.
Many.
And they just didn't get it done.
Many.
So,
and you're right. They lost the Rose Bowl 2 years in a row. Listen, if losing the Rose Bowl 2 years in a row is an indictment, I want to be indicted.
Yeah.
Because as a Notre Dame fan, we don't win anything.
Yeah.
Nothing. So if I were a Utah fan, I'd be thrilled to have lost the Rose Bowl 2 years in a row.
Look, and I think at a minimum, we can say Utah is better than half the Big 12. Most, maybe even 3/4 of the Big 12.
Yeah. Yeah. Eclectic.
If you're frustrated about that, that's fine, dude. I get it. That's your prerogative.
Country Roads. Utah thinks they are smarter than everyone, is still calling Big Ten as we speak. There's no evidence that Utah is called the Big Ten. None. I love this idea that people think because Utah fans are arrogant, and we should talk about this. I want to have an open, honest conversation about this.
It matters. Utah
fans are abysmal on Twitter. It is one of the worst fan bases to deal with ever, bar none.
Yeah.
Utah football Twitter is embarrassingly aggressive, nasty, terrible.
Facts.
That has nothing to do with Taylor Randall, Mark Harlan, Kyle Whittingham. The people that actually matter at Utah are wonderful human beings.
Yeah.
I say it every day on this show. Taylor Randall and Mark Harlan are 2 of the best leaders in college football. Mark Harlan, the athletic director, should be the commissioner of the Pac-12. Honest to goodness, he should be. But there's nothing about the leadership at Utah that's arrogant. And if people want to call Utah arrogant because they're proud of their educational revenue stream, I think you don't understand what most of academia in this entire country is about. Because there's not a school in this conference, and there's not a school in most conferences that wouldn't love to have the research and education dollars that Pac-12 members make.
Facts.
And the idea that Utah doesn't want to lose that revenue is not arrogant. It'd be concerning to me. They have a massive medical footprint.
You're talking about billions of dollars, dude. Come on.
Yeah, what do we, there's, the whole Utah's arrogant thing, come on now.
And I understand it. I understand the idea of, hey, I don't know, what is this, a Virginia fan or what, a Okie State fan? West Virginia fan? Look, dude, respectfully, seriously, respectfully, I understand if you're frustrated because West Virginia's garbage right now. But I think it's unfair to say that Utah is arrogant based on the fan base. But how would you know that if you didn't experience Utah football because the fans gave you a false, narrative, essentially, pulled a curtain over your eyes? How would you know? And that's what I think is the real crime in it, is that in college football specifically, we get these fan bases that just run out all this crap. Like with Utah, it's always about BYU, or it's always about, when Colorado left, I can tell you there are major Twitter accounts in the Utah football fan base that were like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm wrong, don't burn me, don't hate me. And it's dude, sorry's not good enough. The fan base on Twitter is now regarded as an arrogant, asshole-ish fan base
and
on
they
Twitter,
are.
dude. It's just what it is.
And they are.
So there's
and
no running from it. There's no running from that, dude. So when I see comments like this, I'm like, yeah, I don't agree. The brass at Utah are great people who are not arrogant, but the fan base doesn't tell you that they are. They don't do a good job of letting you experience that.
Jerry Gibbons says, keep underestimating TCU. Frogs are coming back. Hey, I love Sonny Dykes.
Yeah.
I think Sonny Dykes is a hell of a human being.
One of the best stories last year.
Yeah, I hope you're right. I hope you're right. Charlie, does San Diego State ever join the Big 12? I just think they did so much damage to their brand.
I don't think that Brett Yormark is going to go from adding Colorado, Utah in the Arizona schools to adding San Diego State. Why would he do that?
Not right now. I don't. That's just me. But hey, it's fine. John Teal gives us $2 to say $31 million from the start. He should have taken that. What do you mean by that? Justin Games says once the four corners leave, the Big Ten will pounce. I would agree with that.
Yep.
Gorf Gorf, which is frog. It's horned frog backwards.
Right.
Honest question. How strong is Utah's NIL game, and is the focus on high school recruits or the transfer portal? Go Frogs. Well,
it's a great question.
To be polite, Utah is light years behind the NIL game. Their transfer portal game is pretty good. It's gotten better. Kyle Whittingham, I think... I'm not going to say that Kyle is Nick Saban and does not embrace it. It took him time to embrace it fully.
Right.
But Utah recruits, as well as anybody, their junior college transfer game has been massive for years and years, whether it's Gianni Paul or anybody else you want to point to. I think you look at the transfer portal, I think they're doing very well. I think one of the things that people don't understand is Utah has a phenomenal high school football community.
Yes, they do.
Where there's massive NFL talent that's come out of Utah. And I think when you look at the battleground between BYU and Utah, it usually determines, who wins and loses.
Yeah.
And I think BYU has done a really good job in the transfer portal. But BYU has a different set of circumstances. But to answer your question directly, I think Utah's NIL game is weak, getting better. They've started to really move aggressively.
Yeah.
But I think their portal game is good now. Gaming History Source says, in the 90s, FSU was bad as hell. Now they're sad and smell. See what
he did. It kind of all rhymes and works together and everything.
Yeah. Dabo's 805 winning percentage. Word is important information was not given to ACC schools on the 2027 extension, and that there was a conflict of interest. Then how come the lawyers haven't sued?
Yeah.
How come the lawyers haven't sued?
If there was some big issue and they were misled and they could prove that, why is there no paperwork on it?
And why haven't they sued already?
Yeah.
Because this is not like today this came out.
Yeah.
FSU's been working in earnest for a year to break this grant of rights and has not been able to do it.
Yeah.
So
good luck.
Dude, the grant of rights in the Big 12 and the ACC are just rock solid.
Dude, you can sit here and cry me a river
not
about
gonna
the grant
happen.
of rights. Nothing's going to change, man.
Freedom USA 1982. Thank you for your service. Utes for the Mountain West.
Don't lie to me.
Mike Rayner for $2. ND forced to join the SEC. Never. Well, but where else are you going to go? And when you say forced, are you really forced to join the SEC? Because I would tell you there's no forcing anybody.
Yeah.
Shea Davis. Jake doesn't have KSU in his top 4. Wow. I would have K-State in the top 4. I don't think there's any doubt. Yeah. I mean, it's a matter of, in my opinion, it's a matter of how those schedules are going to work out. It's the Pac-12 conundrum now.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Pac-12 eats itself every single year.
Yeah, and I don't even, to be honest with you, I don't think I gave a fourth team. I said it was, what did I say? Texas, TCU, and Utah, and then everyone else.
But what Balls is saying, you were never disciplined as a kid. And it is true. Many times thought...
Will Howard is a good-looking individual. I don't deny that. Right? But
mini sex machine.
Right. But you're going to have to show that, you can beat the big boys.
And you don't believe that they did?
Well, they didn't do that last year. You didn't do that last year, right?
Well, you did. I mean, you beat TCU, but that didn't seem to matter. Nobody seemed to give a damn.
So
Lopeman for $5. Easy route to the playoffs as an independent for Notre Dame. They got plenty of money, but I think that route's going to change. When you have two of the bigger conferences getting stronger and stronger, and then you throw in the Big 12 becoming one of the bigger conferences getting stronger and stronger, because there's no doubt the Big Ten's better.
Mm-hmm.
There's no doubt the SEC with Texas and OU is better. Right?
Yeah.
There's no doubt now, once this Arizona State, Utah things happen, that the Big 12 is better. Notre Dame's not going to have a choice. I truly think they're going to have to.
Like, look at the story of K-State last year. Just looking at their schedule, right? You lose to Tulane in week 3 at home.
Yes.
You lose at TCU, and then you lost to Texas. So, did you really? No. You won one big game at the end of the year versus TCU, but that wasn't enough because you lost to Texas, you lost to TCU, and you lost to Tulane. So, yes, I would have them in the top 4, but when I'm talking about hierarchy and like definitives, I'm putting Utah in the top 3 because Utah's been farther than K-State's been.
Well, and how quickly will Dana Holgorsen level up?
Well, there's that
because
too.
that's a huge question for me because I don't think it's going to take long to have him. I really don't.
I mean, look at their schedule this year for K-State, right? So first couple of weeks, non-cons are Southeast Missouri, Troy, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Missouri. But then you get into UCF, Okie State, Texas Tech, you see TCU, then you have Houston right in the middle of your season. So to me, this is a winnable schedule. This is a very winnable schedule. And you got to show me, like, November 4th, go to Texas and win that ball game. But that's a big ask.
And again, I just go back to if it gets executed, that you add Arizona State, Utah, and Colorado. Do you know how difficult this conference is as a football conference?
Yeah, dude. And we haven't even gotten to basketball yet.
I mean, it's ball busting.
Like, do you guys see what I mean about how the Big 12, if they do this, and I have no reason to believe they wouldn't. So if they do this, how now the Big 12 may not win the most natties in football or basketball.
Right.
But they are, top to bottom, the best athletic conference. Top to bottom, football, basketball, they're good to go. We don't even have to have the conversation about paying for the non-revenue generators.
Right.
That's completely covered. So that's why I say the conference is going to be incredibly healthy. And once realignment, this wave of realignment is done, the question is going to be, when do we get a definitive answer on what's going to happen in the ACC and how does that affect the SEC? That's what we're looking for.
I mean, I am super stoked for what the Big 12 is going to look like. I think it is top to bottom.
Yeah.
Because there's no reason to think Sonny Dykes isn't going to keep building.
Right.
There's all of these programs. Scott Satterfield at Cincinnati, Dana Holgorsen, Kalani Sitake, Kyle Whittingham. There's no reason to think this superstar lineup of coaches that are in this conference. Look at the names.
Yeah.
Look at the names. You're replacing Steve Sarkisian with Kyle Whittingham. I'm okay with that. I think, dude, the Big 12 is going to be, do you know how hard it's going to be to go to the college football playoff out of the Big 12?
Dude, the only 2 teams that I see right now that are question marks are West Virginia and Iowa State. Those are the only 2 teams.
Oh, the situation at Iowa State.
Right? But the situation at West Virginia, everyone seems to forget about this Bob Huggins thing.
Well, and I also think you got to fire Neil Brown.
Yeah, I would agree.
I mean, West Virginia football deserves better than this.
I would agree.
But I also I think Kansas is a huge question in football. But it almost doesn't matter anymore because you're going to be a league that's got 10 really quality football programs. You can't tell me, listen, if Dave Aranda has another crappy season, he gone.
Yeah.
They're going to make changes.
Yeah.
You can't not make changes now.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that Joey McGuire at Texas Tech is not going to wreck people this year. I have to believe that Texas Tech, year over year, is going to continue to get better.
Facts.
There's almost no way not to.
Yeah, I agree.
right? I mean, this league is going to be
deep as hell, dude.
Oh,
It's
my
so
God,
deep.
yes.
And I still call us a Utah Homer show, whatever. Still maintain that Kyle Whittingham can beat any of those teams.
And if Kyle Whittingham is re-energized by going to the Big 12, forget it.
Which I have no reason to believe he wouldn't be.
Forget it, dude.
Right? Is this not the Kickstarter that Kyle needed? Come on.
You have to believe that it is. You have to believe that it is. All right. Make sure you hit the like button. We've had 15,000 people watch this show today. We only have 1,066 likes, which is great. If you haven't, please hit the like button. Please consider subscribing. We're trying to get to 25,000 subscribers before kickoff. We are at 21,194. Let's rock and roll. There's, again, 2,400 people watching the show. Please hit like, and if you haven't, please subscribe. We appreciate you very much. This hour of the Monty Show is presented by our good friends at Super Chicks in Ogden on Riverdale Road. Now, you guys, this contest is getting crazy. We are getting a lot of entries now to see BYU and Cincinnati, and really it's just the Natty because I can't spell
The Natty.
Cincinnati. Yesterday, I misspelled Cincinnati.
Yeah, there's like 87 T's in it.
And a bunch of I's too.
Yeah.
But we're giving away a pair of tickets Friday.
Yeah.
And every Friday on the show for the month of August, we're going to give away a big prize on Friday, football related. Next Friday, if you're in the state of Texas, dude, and really if you're anywhere, we're giving away a pair of tickets to one of the games of the year.
Stay hard.
On the calendar in Texas. This Friday, we're giving away a pair of tickets to see BYU take their maiden voyage at LaVell Edwards Stadium in the Big 12. Cougar Bearcat action.
On the New Skin Radio Network.
BYU hosting Cincinnati on September 29th, 8:15 national television on ESPN. All you have to do is go to Super Chicks in Ogden on Riverdale Road, or down in the Jeezy in St. George. Show us that you're there. Take a picture of your food, give me a receipt, something that shows you were at Super Chicks, boom, you're entered to win.
Boom.
Or, very simply, hook it up with my friends at Bucked Up Energy, the official energy provider of the Monty Show. Tweet us pictures of you interacting with Bucked Up or Super Chicks. Jim Choi sent us a great picture on Twitter with his cherry candy, which is... Now listen, I love me some Bucked Up Miami, but Bucked Up cherry candy, beautiful. Just tweet pictures at us, tag Jake and I, The Monty Show. Hi, that's me, The Monty Show, and Jake is SLC Jake. Tweet a picture at us, tag us with Super Chicks and or Bucked Up. You're entered to win those tickets on Friday, and then you do not want to miss this show next Monday because it's going to be down and dirty.
Yep.
The fight for this pair of tickets, because we actually got input. We reached out to several listeners of ours, and we said, hey, what's a really big game in Texas this year?
What are you looking forward to?
And there was one game that most people had on their list. Might surprise you, but we're going to give away a pair of tickets to that next Friday. Super stoked for that game.
Boom.
Super stoked. All you have to do is tweet at us, interacting with Bucked Up or with Super Chicks. You're entered to win the tickets. We'll announce the BYU tickets at the end of hour number 2 on Friday. So just 48 small hours away. We'll announce them. Bigfoot Duck, okay, says clear blue skies and 77 degrees on the Oregon coast.
You know,
it is humid and pouring rain.
Humid.
At the Monty Show compound. Salty Drunk, my friend in Melbourne, Australia. Basketball's coming, dude.
Yeah, I promise you.
And by the way, we have a huge football and NBA game that we're going to play. Dude, we got some
stuff. We coming. And it's Louis.
We're going to have a huge football season on this show. Looking forward to that. Salty, good to see you. Kenneth says, and all entitled FSU does is talk and complain. LSU will smack you in the mouth week 1. I hate Brian Kelly so much. The real power brokers in the ACC is UNC, Clemson, and Duke.
Facts.
Is Duke.
Duke is Duke.
Duke is Duke.
Even if Zion's a fat ass.
Yeah, Georgia Tech, my ass. Arturo Balderas.
Arturo.
Good to see you, bro. $4.99 to say, could Notre Dame just come to a similar arrangement that they have with the ACC with either the Big or the SEC, maybe the Big 12? Yeah, but I think at some point somebody's going to say we're not doing that. You need to join the league.
Yeah, Notre Dame's too big for the Big 12, in my opinion. They are SEC Big 10 big.
They belong in the Big 10.
Yeah.
But I don't, if you add Oregon, Washington, Stanford, and Cal, as we are telling you since May 24th that they're going to do, it's going to be tough to add them. Yeah. Boss Frog for $20. What's up, Boss Frog? Good to see you. Old Mountain West rivalries, TCU and Utah. Yes. TCU and BYU. You have U and BYU.
So everybody's BYU's rival.
Yeah, pretty much. Add the existing Big 12 rivalries, Tech, Baylor. Bay, LOL. Colorado, K-State, West Texas Championship, Revivalry. I still am going to miss Bedlam, but anyway. And there is a conference featuring more rivalry games. There's not. There's not.
No, there's not.
There's not. The Red River Rivalry, which should be called Shootout.
Yeah.
You know. And Donuts gives us $5. Oregon State, Wazoo, perhaps Memphis, Tulane to the Mountain West Conference. New TV deal feasible? It is.
Absolutely it is.
It is. I think they're going
San
places.
Diego State is effed.
Thank you, Zach, for giving us $5. Delaric says, I'm a Baylor guy, and I think Utah fans need to be taken out back behind the woodshed, but their management are great. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. At Super Chicks Riverdale, we'll send pictures soon. Let's go,
baby. Get entered to win.
Let's go. Curtis, does Notre Dame make less money if they join the SEC? I don't think so. Because Notre Dame right now is staring down the barrel at a $75 million deal with NBC. But their contract with Under Armour that they just re-upped with, massive.
Which tells you Under Armour is not worried.
Their licensing deals, their corporate sponsorships, like Notre Dame is a printing press. If they can get a better guarantee, that's great. They may make slightly less, but have more exposure.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be in big, big, big games. If you join the SEC, dude, can you imagine a conference championship with Alabama and Notre Dame? Georgia, Notre Dame. Tennessee, Rocky Top. Lane Train and Notre Dame.
Dude.
I mean, that's a big brand.
That's the thing with Notre Dame. Even more so than BYU. Notre Dame, I don't care who you are, you know what Notre Dame is.
Yes. And it's a built-in following.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. Gaming history for $5. Might as well change the ACC to the All-Clemson Conference. No, friend.
Yeah, get it right.
Get it right. I actually jaw-dropped people at ESPN when I said on ESPN, already crowned Clemson.
In God's name, image, and likeness.
The ACC stands for already crowned Clemson.
We really did.
Because Florida State sucks. That's why. I am so, and I used to be a huge Florida State fan.
It is a bad look, dude.
I used to be a huge Florida State fan.
Well, they were likable when Jimbo was there.
They were likable when Bobby Bowden and Dion and I mean, you name it. Like when Florida State and Florida State and Miami, Florida State and Notre Dame, like Florida State was a big flipping deal. Janikowski, wide left, right. But you just disappeared. Jimbo was a huge disappointment. Like you've made terrible hires since, and you're still irrelevant. Show me what you got. Put it on the table and give me a ruler.
I'm so bricked up right now.
Let's see what you got, dude. Because I'm tired of hearing about how great Florida State is.
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
I'm tired of hearing about how much money they make the already crowned Clemson Conference. I'm tired of hearing about it. Because you're irrelevant. Florida State
Pump
is
those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
They are irrelevant, period. MJ Bissett. Make near SEC money just from football and scheduling. Cupcakes. Why leave? Notre Dame playing an SEC schedule is Miss Kentucky, South Carolina level good. Well, you might be right, but what does that do? That forces Notre Dame, I shouldn't say this out loud, because right now, from what I understand, God is pissed at Notre Dame. And well, but hello, Moses. Good to see you. Got him. Good to see you, Moses.
Right.
My point is, maybe, and I'm struggling to say it out loud.
Please.
Maybe Notre Dame will actually fucking level up for once and hire a better coach.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Who has experience. I know it's crazy.
Hey, look here, man.
I mean,
don't say outlandish stuff, dude. Come on.
Hire a coach who's got experience.
Who the fuck are you?
Who can recruit. And this is where we get crazy. Whose linebackers don't have fake dead girlfriends.
Nick Saban is a better man than you are.
And now here's the part where I just go off the reservation. And you actually win those big games. And I know, get crazy. Maybe I can add a Notre Dame National Championship t-shirt to my collection.
You gotta get stroked.
I know. I'm probably, listen, LSD's real. I get it. I'm delusional. Ayahuasca, me and Aaron shitting in a cave together on, I get it. I get it. But maybe, just maybe, if Notre Dame has to play an SEC schedule, maybe we'll actually have a real quarterback who can.
And, pardon me,
throw the football?
No.
Maybe our best receiver won't be our tight end, and we'll actually have 4.2 speed on the outside like we used to. You know, when Lou Holtz wasn't dead on the sideline. Like maybe, I don't know. Maybe Jesus will stop rooting for Boston College, and maybe we can get back to winning games in South Bend.
God bless.
I'm disillusioned.
Whatever.
Mike Rayner. The Fighting Gundies open with ASU. Let's see how that goes.
The Fighting Gundies.
Bro, man. And as a Notre Dame fan, I swear to Jesus Christ himself, the incarnate word, I swear to God, if Drew Pine beats Oklahoma State, I will fucking smash my TV.
I hope it won't come to that.
I will. If Notre Dame quitter Drew Pine,
how dare you,
ends up winning for Kenny Dillingham at, Ford Field America Credit Union crap hole.
Because it's garbage.
That Arizona State just renamed that dump, that concrete form that they call Sun Devil Stadium.
Please swipe your credit card at the credit union field so we can pay for the pack.
So they did a naming deal today with Mountain America Credit Union. They announced it on Twitter. And it went so poorly that they turned off the reply feature.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Because people were like, hey, we're never saying that name.
It's Sun Devil Stadium, jackass.
I'm not calling him Dad. Even if there's a fire.
I'm not doing that.
I won't call him Dad.
Nope.
It's Sun Devil Stadium. So if those jackwagons beat the mullet, Mike Gundy doesn't get to come back to Stillwater.
They'll drop that motherfucker.
And at a minimum, he's got to shave the mullet.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Drew Pine, you prick. What a quitter that kid turned out to be. Okay, you guys, I feel better. I appreciate you.
Because I couldn't tell if you were,
Dude. Cougar Tracks. Big 12 will be the Conference of Champions. Stop. Why do you stir the pot like that? Let's see. Rav Kinda gives us $5. Thank you. The backwards speller says, just a reminder that Colorado and TCU play week 1. Fox big noon kickoff. Dion in his first P5 game against Sonny Dykes. What's your prediction? You mean how much will Sonny Dykes win by? How many toes would Dion give to win that game? We'll find out on Fox. Big noon kickoff.
With Gus.
And somebody. Brass balls. I don't want Witt to get, quote, re-energized coming to the Big 12. I want him to have a life-changing epiphany that tetherball is his life's purpose and retire. That ain't gonna happen, man. He's not retiring. Discuss Houston more. Go Cougs. Dana Holgerson's my guy. He is. Jess Donovan gives us $1. Thanks,
hey,
Jess.
Jess.
John Teal, $2 to say, I'd love to see LSU and Notre Dame.
How do you not? Just on Brian Kelly's dumb ass alone.
Bring back Ed, and I'll approve that game. Honest to God, every bird that flies over, like
go Tigers,
Tiger Stadium. Every bird that flies over needs to shit on Brian Kelly.
You mean First America Credit Union Stadium?
Yeah. I cannot stand Brian Kelly. Louisiana deserves better.
Mm-hmm.
The University of the State of Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Tom Dean, we're talking about Notre Dame. Does anyone care? Stop it. Gary Wolf, Texas Tech fan to Oregon State fan. Quote, I was rooting for Oregon State to land a spot on the lifeboat. Makes me sick for y'all. Raider power. I think a lot of people were. Zigart Dane, 3 million subs. That's an entire state population. Let's go. I would love. 3 million subscribers would be.
Yeah.
I mean,
we
just want to get to 25,000 subs before kickoff.
Yeah.
We have small goals and dreams on this show.
Yeah. We're no George Kliavkoff.
21,220 subscribers right now. So in the last 24 hours, we've picked up 1,220. Come on, man. Let's go.
Let's keep it going.
Let's go. Keep going. Do people really? Nobody hates Notre Dame.
Well,
nobody hates, nobody. Darling Deb. Hello, Deb. Let the Rose Bowl go to the Big 12 now.
Seriously.
You guys. Can I say what is never said? Can we just be honest? The Rose Bowl sucks. Going to the Rose Bowl sucks. Have you ever been to the Rose Bowl? It's hard to get to. It's hard to get out of. It's in a neighborhood. They don't like you coming there. And UCLA calls that their home.
Because it's garbage.
The game, the granddaddy of them all.
I'm glad you've come around on this.
The Rose Bowl game itself,
The
parade sucks. Nobody likes the parade except all the moms and daughters who go to see it together. Dads are only there to carry the tent chairs or the camping chairs.
Yeah.
The game itself, okay. The stadium sucks.
Yeah, dude. It needs a renovation so bad.
Wait, it's not even that. You need to pick it up with a Huey and move it.
Yeah.
It just isn't you can't get an Uber. You don't have phone service. It's impossible to get there or get out of.
Yeah.
You can't drive there. God forbid you drive there.
Yeah.
I think it's overrated. Dreamers World. Notre Dame better avoid scheduling Marshall in the Stop it. There's no reason for that kind of
Where
talk
are we
on
at
this
in
show.
society today?
It's probably true, though. MJ Bissett, Pac-12 Conference of Departed Champions. Exactly.
Yeah.
Construction work. Nah, they're not SEC fit. Monty is high. But see, the dangerous part about football teams when you add them, it's not how they currently fit.
Yeah.
Do they have the capabilities to fit?
Yeah.
Notre Dame's got the capabilities. They've got the bread. Again, Jesus is a Notre Dame fan. We all know that.
Right.
You have the facilities. You have the uniforms, the tradition, the history,
all
the
of
TV package, the prestige. Yeah, I mean, everything you want. There's not, if you have never been, maybe we need to go.
Yeah.
If you've never been to a Notre Dame game at Notre Dame Stadium, you're not a football fan. If you have not been, it will change the way you look at football. And I say that, and with all due respect, I've been to a ton of SC football in a big game at the Coliseum doesn't hold a candle. Right? Like every stadium in the Pac-12, completely mid compared to Notre Dame. I think Autzon's very special. I think Rice Eccles in Salt Lake City is very special. But man, you go to Notre Dame Stadium and you play USC. I mean, honest to God, you will leave there aroused.
Stay hard.
You will. It will.
I'm so bricked up right now.
You'll be Catholic. I warn you. You will convert to Catholicism before
Catholicism.
The blood of Christ through the beer taps will be in your system, dude.
Yeah.
It's an amazing experience.
Yeah.
Derek says, my hometown team, Michigan. All right, let's move on.
Yeah, how many khakis do you have in your closet, dude?
My hometown team of Michigan. will play for hamburgers anytime.
Right.
Notice Michigan doesn't want to play Notre Dame anymore. Doesn't want to play Notre Dame anymore.
Yeah.
Jeff Keyes says sweaty balls.
Sweaty.
Oh, thanks for the $2. Avery Cope. What's up, Avery, for $5? What would it mean for the state of Utah to have an in-conference P5 holy word? Jesus.
It would mean everything. Honestly, it would mean everything, dude. It's what it should be.
It is. I think the BYU Notre Dame thing, it is something that you have no idea.
Yeah, I don't think you can define or measure or quantify how important that is to the state of Utah.
The passion and the power of that rivalry is remarkable.
Yeah.
It's remarkable.
Yeah.
Like, there are families who do not talk. There's no such thing as half BYU and half Notre Dame.
Yeah.
There's not. There just isn't. It is, wow. Domingo Germán, the starting pitcher for the New York Yankees, has voluntarily checked himself into treatment for alcohol abuse.
Yeah, dude. The Yankees are a mess, bro.
Wow. Booney's going to get fired, I'm telling you right now. And that team is just a disaster. What a tragedy.
Yeah.
Hope Domingo Germán gets what he needs, man. But BYU Notre Dame is special. Special. I mean, it's really important. I mean, it'll change your life. Not the way calzones do, though.
At Papa Murphy's, we do more than just pizza. We do calzones.
Papa Murphy's does calzones?
Oh, I think you mean I do the calzones.
And how do you do it, Dad?
How do I do it? How do I do it?
Oh, well, we do it with fresh ingredients and hand-shredded cheese tucked in a scratch-made dough.
That's how, honey.
At Papa Murphy's, we make great pizza.
You don't forget the calzones.
Order now at papamurphys.com.
Don't forget the calzones.
Yeah, all the calzones and the meatballs and the pizzas and all the stuff.
And your mom.
More
Tell
balls.
her to use promo code Monty25 to get 25% off for purchase of $25 or more. I don't know why I'm talking like that. At Papa Murphy's Pizza, tell her, hey, Ma, download the fucking app.
Yeah,
and
Monty
let's
told
order.
me to download this app so we can have pizza. You know.
Download the app. We can order some balls.
Yeah.
Use the promo code Monty25. We're fired.
To
get 25% off your purchase of $25 or more at Papa Murphy's Pizza, the official pizza of the Monty Show. Hour number 3 is all about you guys. We try to read as many comments as we can. And I know a lot of you are like, but dude, how do we get to the Advocates? Theadvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business presents hour number 3 of the Monty Show. If you got hurt at work today, you guys, a lot of people ask me about workman's comp because so many people that get hurt at work, hoodwinked is a word that I would use. Their boss is like, oh, dude, we got you. You don't need to go to an attorney. We're going to take care of you. You're going to get paid. We've got your job waiting for you. And then all of a sudden they don't, and you don't. And now you're kind of left out in the cold because you signed a bunch of papers that you didn't know what they meant. Please don't do that. You have nothing to lose. If you got hurt at work today, or your friend, your mom, your dad, your cousin, if somebody got hurt at work, do not let them go another day without talking to the Advocates, theadvocates.com. You can chat with an injury attorney online for free, 24/7, 365, because you don't pay the Advocates unless and until they win your case, so you never reach into your pocket to scratch a consultation fee check or a retainer. That's not how it works at the Advocates. They represent you. You get healthy. They defer your medical bills. They help you concentrate on getting back to that best version of yourself, because you know how it is. When you get hurt or you break your arm or you fall snowboarding or whatever it is, you're not confident. You don't feel the best version of yourself. You get hurt at work, maybe you broke your back or you hurt your knee or your foot, or, like there was a listener of ours that crushed his foot with a forklift.
Spinal.
And he was worried about whether he would ever walk again. Worry about getting healthy. The Advocates are going to fight for you. Theadvocates.com. Chat with an attorney live online 24/7 for free.
Okay, we have a top entry that's just come in through Super Chicks that I'd like
Really?
to send to you. Yes, so I'm going to
Really?
airdrop this to you real
Let's
quick.
do this. So you guys know that we are giving away tickets on the program here for BYU and Cincinnati as BYU opens their home schedule. The first ever Big 12 home game for BYU is Cincinnati, September 29th at 8:15 on ESPN. We're giving you tickets. And we're doing that because you guys take great care of us. And one of the ways that you can help us to win these tickets is going and supporting our sponsors. So one of the things we've said is go to Super Chicks. Oh, my God.
Dude.
Let's go.
This is Matthew Chart.
Matthew Hart. Matthew
Hart.
C. Hart.
Yeah, Matthew C. Hart.
Spelling BYU. What's the score he put there?
I think it's 31-17, but the picture kind of cuts off the total score.
BYU versus Cincinnati. BYU 31-17.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a top entry now.
That's a top entry right there. That's top notch right there, dude.
Super Chicks on Riverdale Road in Ogden or down in St. George. This is your bar now, you guys.
Look at the accuracy and how he spelled Cincy. Like, you had to tear the fries apart.
I love it.
Like, you put an effort on this, dude. I appreciate
And he
you.
put a dash between BYU and 31.
I'm telling you the detail.
Dude, and he's got it on Super Chicks paper. On the like quintessential Super Chicks.
Let's
Where,
go.
by the way, did you know that when you eat at Super Chicks, you're always eating fresh food? The fries are fresh, chopped in-house every day. Their produce, like their tomatoes, their lettuce, their onion, their pickles, which are fantastic. Fresh, chopped in-house every day. Never frozen, full chicken breasts. When you get a breaded chicken sandwich at Super Chicks, it's a full breast of fresh chicken meat. Trust me. It is fantastic. Go in there, order a deluxe. Tell me you heard about it on the Monty Show. Great job, Matt Hart. Appreciate you, my guy. You're entered to win the tickets. We'll announce that next Friday. By the way, if you'd also like to enter, but maybe you don't live near Super Chicks in Ogden, maybe you don't live near Super Chicks in St. George, there's always our friends at Bucked Up. It's really easy to enter this contest. Go to buckedup.com, place an order, take a screen grab or a picture on your phone that you ordered something at buckedup.com. Send it to us on Instagram or Twitter. I am The Monty Show, Monty, The Monty Show. Jake is SLC Jake. Super easy.
Yes.
You can go to the first ever BYU home Big 12 football game against Cincinnati on September 29th. Now, I will tell you next week,
dude,
guys, it's going to be super easy to enter. Be super easy. But it's going to be a barn fight, dude. You're going to have to go into a dark barn with a hay claw, and you're going to have to rip somebody's soul out of their chest.
I'll drop that motherfucker.
Well, actually, not physic. I don't mean like that. But there was a kind of like an example of just like a mentality.
Apologize to that man.
Don't murder people, please, because we won't give you the tickets. You'll be in jail.
Yeah.
It's going to be a dogfight for these tickets next week because
Yeah.
it's a huge game.
Yeah.
It is a huge game in Texas. Tarrant County.
Yeah. Okay.
The game's not going to be played in Tarrant County. But anyway, the point is, a week from Friday, we're giving away tickets. Monday on the Showgram, we will announce that game.
Yeah.
And it's going to be Louis.
What are the people saying?
They're saying it's going to be Louis. They're not, actually. Hero75 says, dumb question. There are no dumb questions, just dumb people who ask dumb questions.
With all due respect.
Dumb question.
I'm sorry if you're offended by that.
Dumb question, but if the Big Ten adds these teams, will the Big Ten Network be able to replay all the new team postgame in 60 minutes? Probably not. My grandparents watch those all the time. They asked me that today. I'm sure they will. Yeah, I'm sure they will figure that out. Why would you say that about his grandmother? Do not talk about people's grandmother like that.
Boom. Out of here.
I'm sure they will, Hero. I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
Backwards name guy. I went to...
It's a wrong question.
I went to the TCU Wisconsin Rose Bowl. Those seats were designed for Americans in the 50s who had small bodies. The venue is a dump, like going to a dollar movie theater with gum on the floor. I'm telling you, the Rose Bowl's overrated.
Yeah.
The idea of the Rose Bowl isn't. The Rose Bowl is overrated.
Yeah.
Telling you. Notre Dame to the Big 12 so we can truly get true holy war between Notre Dame, TCU, Baylor, and BYU. God's a Notre Dame fan. God's a Notre Dame fan. The top 4 religious schools in the country, but won't happen. It won't happen.
No.
But that would be amazing. Could you play that on a Sunday?
Incredible.
And there would be lightning and thunderstorms. Jesus.
Garrett Cole is getting shellacked.
Garrett Cole just gave up a 2-run upper deck home run at the stadium. Dude, this season's, they should, how have you not fired Booney yet? And I like Aaron Boone.
Yeah.
But how he just gave up a 431-foot home run.
It's embarrassing, dude.
In the top of the first, nobody out,
and
2-0
I don't even
raise.
think that Booney's the one that's responsible, but unfortunately,
you got to do it.
You got to do it.
You got to do it.
Yeah.
Gary Wolf, Bulls, bada bing.
Bulls, bada bing, bada boom and stuff.
It's Bulls. That's what it is. My Bulls. Kevin Purcell, New England to the Big 12. Nebraska to the Big 12. They might be significant. Notre Dame to the Big 10. Everybody rousted me when I said Nebraska regrets going to the Big 10.
Jackass.
And in 2015, 2016, 2017, they were absolutely trying to find a way home.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the case anymore.
How could it be? Why would you?
You're making too much money now, and you hired Matt Rule, and Trev Alberts is your athletic director. You're not coming back.
You're in a good place.
You're not. Stephen Noyce, I'm looking forward to a strengthened Mountain West.
Well, I think that remains
good for
to be
college
seen, dude.
sports, though.
It is. It is. I think it remains to be seen where Oregon, Washington State will go. Oregon State and Washington State will go.
Yep.
I think that's a big question.
Conference Commissioner Gumby.
Dude, Gumby, you've been
And
such a good
and
contributor.
he is the Monty Show Conference Commissioner.
Not the mayor, though.
But I'm going to have to fire you Kliavkock style. And Notre Dame, ND equals nah, dude.
What are you, nuts?
That's not very nice, sir. It's not very nice. Sid Irish makes me shake in my boots. Okay. Tony Barber, new Rose Bowl will be Big 12 versus Big 10 second place team. Yeah, maybe, right? Greg Swaim, thought you were an atheist, so how could you be a Notre Dame fan? Greg?
Whoever came up with that shit needed to be fired.
Settle down, sir. Relax. My wife is a passionate supporter of the atheist way of life. I am more universal than I.
And you two motherfuckers need Jesus.
I do, because I have to be honest with you. My hand still hurts from getting slapped by those rulers as a kid. I was an altar boy. I was all in on the Catholic thing. But admittedly, I was a terrible Catholic, though. Like, do you know how much of the body of Christ I ate? Do you know how much of the body of Christ is in here? There's a lot of body of Christ in here.
Buddy had a lot of Triscuits.
You know what I'm saying? Do you know how much grape juice I drunk, thinking it was wine?
That's every day.
Never knowing and absolutely believing it was never anybody's blood, but I thought it was wine, but it was grape juice.
You have to check it before you wreck it.
Oh my God!
I can remember breaking wafers for communion.
Right.
Because the body of Christ.
The body and the blood.
And I think my priest used to say something like, "Oh, the body of Christ redeems you. The body of Christ redeems you."
I'm screwed.
All the way I'm looking at the nun and I'm like, "What's under that skirt, sweetheart?" Wait, I better get another wafer,
Wait,
sir.
what did I just think?
Oh, wait. Hey, look at Patty in the front row. She's fine. Can I have another wafer? Come on, man. Do you know how many wafers? Come on.
And he will every single time.
Leave it to Greg Swaim to come in here and derail
Bro.
the show. Bryce Martin, maybe Notre Dame won't lose at home to G5 schools and be the. Why would you say stupid things?
Maybe your mom didn't go to heaven.
Yeah, your mom didn't go to heaven because she would know we always lose. We always lose to like Poughkeepsie State. Like 1 in 6, Stanford comes in and routinely beats the hell out of Notre Dame. Oh, BC upsets Notre Dame.
Oh, it's the tree.
Again. Like, okay. Ralph, I'm a bitter Notre Dame fan. And now, thanks to Greg, you know that I've eaten God's body. Big 12 losing Texas, Oklahoma is going to hurt. In a couple of years, that's a lot of high-level sports loss.
Yeah, but you've backstocked that now.
But
dude.
if they're able to close, and there's no reason, according to our sources, and if you're just tuning in today, we were told right before the show started that the Pac-12 is losing Arizona, Arizona State, and Utah. And it's simply a matter of the process playing out. And again, we were told Colorado is just the beginning. But if this conference in the Big 12 adds Arizona, Arizona State, Utah, and Colorado, they're more than past what Oklahoma and Texas brought.
Yeah.
Because if we're being honest, Texas hasn't brought a lot of big game wins to this conference. Now, the brand, DKR, home game, like all of the experience, absolutely. What Texas means to the Cotton Bowl, all of that history and pageantry, you can never replace that.
Agreed.
You're never getting Vince Young.
Yeah.
You're never getting Mac Brown. You're never you lost that.
Yeah.
On the field, competition, access to the college football playoff, you went up, not down.
I also think, though, a lot of people don't want to admit that the Big 12 is starting a new chapter here. And I think you got to be okay with that. Like, just because you lost Texas and Oklahoma doesn't mean you can't still be a great conference.
And it's a new day in the Big 12.
I would agree.
It's a new day in the Big 12. It is absolutely histrionics right in front of us.
Yeah.
History is playing out right in front of us. And listen, I have a lot of respect for the Big 12 and the history of the Big 12, but I also firmly believe that at some point you have to be able to start again.
Yeah.
Because if you continue to live in the past, you're never going to realize that today is what matters most.
Yes.
You can't make history without dominating today. And right now, the Big 12 has to dominate today every day.
Yes.
That's how you do this thing. Travis, Texas bought a big bag of dicks to the conference.
Jesus.
Well, I mean, that's one way to say it. I didn't know you spoke Latin, but that's one way to say it.
Yeah.
Timothy Moore says 100%. Sid Irish, nobody gives SMU shite for being whatever they are. Dude,
they're not anything,
this must be your first day on the show because we have spent weeks trashing. I mean, to see what.
And he will every single time.
We've spent weeks telling the truth about, you know.
How the fuck else would you do this job?
I'll simply say, SMU can write Dallas across the front of their uniform, and they can tell everybody about all the cattlemen who have all that oil money.
But no hats.
So all the cattle guys have oil on their boots, and all the oilmen have hats and no cattle.
Fucking real.
And everybody's got all this money. You know, they're going to pay $70 million to get into the dead Pac-12 now. Kind of stupid to pay $70 million to get into a conference that's going away, but that's just my opinion.
Exist, dude.
Look, it's your $70 million.
If you want to write a check, you should just put Office of GK on the check, dude. Come on now, bro.
Oh my God. Sid Irish says, I meant religion. Well, the only religion that they have at SMU is losing. Okay, that was probably too strong. I apologize. SMU just won't go away. Mike Dottie, the FSU thing. I said SMU. The FSU thing is insane. They aren't going to find $500 million to get out of the ACC.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
I'm trying. And if you're just tuning in today, Florida State won't shut up about how much money they've made everybody in the ACC and how much money they've not made being in the ACC.
Yeah.
They won't stop denigrating and insulting their fellow ACC members. And yet now they need help to try and break the ACC grant of rights. They don't believe they should have to pay the $120 million exit fee. And they just want to bitch and moan about it. And now all of a sudden everybody's like, well, there's loopholes, and somebody's cousin's father's bus driver used to work at Comcast as an installer. That's a conflict of interest because he wiped his ass on the commissioner's stool at his lake house 17 years ago when there was no carp in the river. That's a conflict of interest.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
We're out of the grant of rights.
Schemers trying to control their little world.
All of these convoluted. Well, okay. So,
guys.
Do you guys remember Sebastian Jankowski?
Hey, guys.
Jankowski.
Hey, Kevin, how are you guys getting out of the grant of rights, Florida State? Okay.
And, pardon me,
I was talking to Patty on the porch last night. She pointed out that Sebastian Jankowski
Let's wind the clocks back.
17 years when the Polish Power missed that kick.
The Polish Power.
And then what I recognized was they didn't properly credit the yardage on that kick. So Bobby Bowden died disgraced under the wind level because Joe Paterno diddled kids. Well, it wasn't actually Joe.
Honestly, I'd start stroking guys.
So, yeah, look, Pat McAfee, settle down. But it was his coach. So anyways, the whole Penn State thing that led to P.J. Fleck at Minnesota, and then really by extension, really by extension, Pat Fitzgerald at Northwestern, that whole bullshit firing means that the grant of rights in the ACC is invalid, and we shouldn't have to pay the $120 million. Now, Pat Fitzgerald's going to sue. I'm fucking suing, and we're getting out of here.
You ought to know you bought it.
Oh, God.
So that's how they're getting out.
And, pardon me,
and listen, we hired the robot that plays Mitch McConnell. He's going to be the grand marshal at the parade the day we break the grant of rights.
Venice parade.
Come on, man.
Dude.
Like, this is so stupid that I have a back cramp now. That FSU just keeps talking about what they're entitled to.
Right,
and what we've done all of this for you, and you ingrates won't even help us get out of jail. Well, can we go with you? Hell no.
No.
Look, you're not. Look how far down my nose I have to stare to see you losers down there at Georgia Tech.
You're out of your freaking mind.
Those idiots in Miami can't even fire a police chief properly, dumbass. Anyway. O.G. Gary, how are you? People, it's late. Florida State wants the pro rata they deserve.
My guy.
That's amazing.
Dude, has Florida State been talking to Adela?
Okay, well, let's introduce our new president down here in Tallahassee. It's Adela LaTorre. And here's John David Wicked is our new, he's the new commissioner of compliance.
And stuff.
You know, it's fine. Conference Commissioner Gumby, FSU, Fart Sound University.
Dude, you're not wrong.
You're not wrong.
You're literally not wrong.
Jerry Davis, I know how the Pac-9 feels now, unwanted and unloved. My super chat didn't make the show. Your super chat didn't make the show. You know, well, first of all, we have 178 super chats. When did you, dude? I will not be able to go back and find it. I'm a terrible person. Just know that you paid whatever you paid to get ignored. And it was money poorly spent. So
much like the Pac-12.
Very good point. Thank you. I apologize, Jerry. My super chat didn't make the show. Also, FSU, just stop it. You'll get out of the ACC in 2036. Guy, it's only 14 years. Fuck.
Ain't ducking, no smoke.
I thought you said it's 14
what is
years.
It? 20. It's something like that, right? 13.
Oh, excuse me, 11 years.
So you're just going to have to do a double nickel upstate in the ACC.
Yeah, dude. No problem.
It's fine. I mean, it is what it is. Conference Commissioner Gumby, Wicket from Star Wars could be. Mike Smith, Mormon Monty doing a Southern accent while ranting, loving it. Yeah, just a fat 50-year-old Mormon who's going to die soon.
You need to be careful. You're trending towards Brian Kelly territory. Come
Gregory Krug, if this all happens and the moves of Utah, Arizona State going to be announced simultaneously, they will.
Yeah.
Because one thing that, and I think our reporting on this has been pretty consistent, Brett Yormark doesn't want to keep doing the dipping thing. He got Colorado. He's going to do one more thing. That's it.
Well, and I think if you look at Brett, he's not the type of guy that fools around or plays games. When he does something, it is truly, clean cut, one take, we're good to go.
Yeah, totally agree. Tanner Chias, Florida State tried starting an OnlyFans to raise the money to leave the ACC. What did he have? Didn't they have Favre's thumb? What's her name? Jen Sturger.
Oh.
Wasn't she like the
Yeah,
Florida
she was.
State cleavage fan?
She was.
Missed the boat on that one. Right? Random account. Florida State, apparently. Yup. Big Jack 512. How are you, dude? How about those Astros? FSU temper tantrum will be good for clicks. Maybe. I'm just tired of it. It's not a temper tantrum. We're more having fun
Don't
with it.
bitch and moan if you don't win.
Yeah. Village L idiot. Okay. Florida State could pay the ACC $30 million a year and still make $50 million a year by joining the Big Ten. But if you're the ACC, why would you take a payment plan? Why would you do that?
What are you, San Diego State?
Yeah, seriously. Greg Swaim, did you guys have some THC infused bucked up?
Dude, that was some of the most fun I've had on the show this week, dude. That was awesome.
I needed a laugh.
Yeah, that was fun.
Mark 324, Jesus. Monty, this lightning strikes for you. So true. Darren, Big 20 Jackson. Monty is cracking me up. Well, I appreciate you laughing with us.
Hey, Monty.
Thank you. Adam Salamini.
Nice of you to show up 2 days in a row.
Wrong.
Where's the Italian?
Wrong. San Diego State is going to draft a letter for Florida State. That's how they get out. To whom it may concern.
And make sure. No, it'll say. Okay. All right.
Guys.
To Trevor Lawrence's forehead and all the presidents in the ACC.
We're going to pay our exit fee in Bitcoin. James. Whoa.
Oh, you a little clearing out there a little bit?
I'm at the end of this, whatever this throat thing is that I've been battling. I'm at the end of it. But laughing and talking is not a good way. Virginia Tech, Pitt, Louisville, and NC State to the Big 12.
Nah. Nope.
I wonder what happens to the rest of the ACC. Because Florida State, I don't know if there's a negotiation. Something, I don't know. Do you guys think Florida State gets out? Greg Swaim, you should know this. Do you guys think Florida State gets out? I think Florida State is going to try and get out.
No.
I just don't know that they will
You're
get out.
You're not getting past the paperwork, dude.
Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah. Big Dog O-Town gives us $2. Thank you.
Shout out to Mobamba.
The Great Dane. The best name for a rivalry as well. The Holy War. Right? Exactly. Gary Wolf, FSU done some back of the envelope calculations.
Dude, you're not even kidding.
So the ACC grant of rights, I think the penalty is $120 million. But that doesn't get you, like, you still have to, they're not getting, it's ironclad, dude. Rocks up. They're not getting out. They're not. Steve Spendlove, reset the spam call. Saw it on YouTube today. LOL. Oh, did you really?
Did you really? That's wild
The
if you
spam
saw
call
that.
was
That was a
awesome.
while ago now.
We had a spam call on the show. And I don't remember what it was now, but we had fun with that.
Literally, someone called my guy here while we were doing the show. He answered it and trolled the spam caller.
It was amazing. It was so much fun. Dibs for $5. Question for Jake. If K-State beats Texas in November, is the story going to be Texas choke or K-State wins? The critics will credit Texas as the better team losing.
No. I would say that that's K-State. I mean, they're going
Right,
to.
but you hate K-State.
I don't hate K-State. I would say that I criticize Texas more than I criticize K-State.
Jake doesn't hate K-State.
I think my criticism for K-State fan and for K-State as a program is you lost to Texas and you lost to TCU when it mattered most.
No, Tom Dean. The answer's no. Jake, anytime Monty mentions Notre Dame, drop a fart sound. No.
Why do we like fart sounds so much?
Because we're children. Because we're quite literally children. We are children. Whoa, comment dump. Thank you, guys. Conference Commissioner Gumby says Mo Bamba. J-Ball of 54. Of
Shout
course,
out to Mo Bamba.
Dibs would dare give K-State any credit.
Wow, that's true.
What did Dibs do? Oh, he asked that question, right. Mike Smith, that throat thing is because of all the Utah slurping. Could be.
Hey, you start talking shit.
No, I actually think, I thought I had cocoa because I went to the movies when I saw Oppenheimer. I went to the movies and it was an IMAX.
The coronavirus.
I mean, overflowing packed. And like the next day or 2 days later, I guess it was, I had a cough.
They have the sniffles.
But I tested for the cocoa and it's negative.
Everybody gets a
I'm
test.
trying it. Well, anyway, Renee Roca. If I'm an Iowa State QB, my money is on Florida State staying.
Bro, you are cold-blooded, dog. Dude.
Can we say this, though? Seriously. Can we just agree? All 1650 of us watching the show. After you hit the like button, can we just agree? Anybody that bets on sports as an athlete in the college or professional ranks is stupid. You know the rules. This kid did it a year ago, apparently. Maybe I can cut him some slack. If you play college sports or you play professional sports and you bet on sports by phone, tablet, in the facility or out of it, I don't care. If you go to a casino, you go to a sports book, you're done.
What an idiot!
You know the rules. Whether you agree,
what a loser!
Whether you agree with them or not doesn't matter. This kid at Iowa State had to know. Yeah. And I don't want to keep saying his name because he's a kid. He's getting buried. The quarterback at Iowa State got caught betting on himself.
Buddy at Alabama knew what he was doing.
The baseball coach, you mean?
Yeah.
Knew what he went to a sports. Come on, get the fuck out of here.
You had a guy at the sports book at
in
Great
Cincinnati.
American Ballpark.
Come on.
Don't be an idiot.
Come on. Sid Irish, we know you hate Notre Dame, but they can wait and see. No, we don't hate Notre Dame. Notre Dame, our mother. We don't hate Notre Dame. J.K. Marshall, yes, they bail. Okay. Richard Berger. Dibs, it'll definitely be Texas choked. If Texas loses a game, they choked. The expectations are through the roof. There's no doubt. There's no doubt. Roundabout, what's up, my guy? I could see ECU, West Virginia going to the ACC if Clemson, FSU leave.
But they're not.
But why would anybody go to the ACC from the Big 12?
Listen to me. Dude, listen to me. This is not the Pac-12 we're talking about, respectfully. Why are these schools in the Pac-12 able to leave? Oh, that's right, because they're free agents. They are not contracted for next season.
Yeah, their grant of rights ends June 30th.
It's over, dude. You're a free agent and can go wherever you want. So the difference is that Clemson and Florida State and everyone else in the ACC, for whatever reason, decided it would be a good idea to sign an extension through, I think it's 2031. And now you're going to bitch and moan about it because the Big 12, the Big 10, and the SEC are all eating.
Yes.
That's your problem, not anyone else's.
Mike gives us $10. Appreciate that. Thank you very much, Mike. I believe that's your first super chat, too. Thank you. That's awesome. OG Gary, Utah about to be the new Texas in the 12.
Well, we'll see. Again, for programs like Texas and Utah and, again, TCU, Oklahoma, right? USC in the Big 10, Oregon, Washington in the Big 10, dude, you got to win ball games. That's ultimately what it comes down to.
Roundabout, Free Seafood University, FSU. Thank you, Jameis.
Yeah, nice crab legs.
Publix, your presenting sponsor of... No. Mike, is there seriously a Utah fans out there who aren't praying Utah gets an invite to the Big 12?
The absolute shift from F the Big 12 to, we were wrong.
No. We're going to the Big 10. We're getting an invite to the Big 10, bro. We're not going to the truck stop conference.
It's probably different than what you're thinking, though.
That's the one that pisses me off. And the problem is Utah fans ruin Utah's reputation. And it's not fans. Utah Twitter ruins the University of Utah's reputation because Utah fans on Twitter are just detestable. It's terrible. Absolutely. I have so many Utah fans muted because they like.
Yeah.
Scott of Greywater Watch. Spoiler alert, it's the bomb.
What does that mean?
I don't know what you mean. Big Jack 512, I see what you did there. I don't know what I did. Or who? Me? Me? What do you mean? Katie Rader. Oh, no. J.K. Marshall, I come here for the fart sounds. Please don't. I knew it. Katie Rader, afternoon, everyone. Pew, pew.
Yeah, what's up, Katie? Welcome to the program.
You missed it. We had Joey McGuire on the show earlier. We did. That's a lie. We didn't, because Jake still has not asked. The Tater Man.
I have, actually.
He has asked. Come on, you have better fart sounds than that. Give it some gusto.
Dude,
don't encourage him.
Bro, like, what do you want from me, dude? Would you rather this?
Why?
I mean, is that what you would prefer?
Why do you do this? This is your fault.
Yeah, I mean, is that what you would prefer?
Salamini. He says, Jake, shut the hell up. I've shown up all week and last Friday, even when busy making pack memes and logos like hashtag broke pack mountain.
Appreciate you, bro.
MH5, K-State has a storied basketball program, or is it the other Kansas school? Is there another school in Kansas other than, wait, isn't Manhattan, Kansas the only college town in Kansas?
Program.
I'm pretty sure it is.
You know.
Could be wrong. Kyle Visser, free shoes and crab legs, bro.
And apparently free Ubers.
Mike Harris, a new truck stop is coming to Salt Lake City. Exactly. That's a truck stop conference insult. Still
don't understand it.
Matt Hartley, FSU might actually die if they try to leave the ACC. It's $120 million and not a penny less. Matthew Tolman, Utah honestly thinks they're going to the big. Let them wait for the invitation and leave them where they are. They don't. The University of Utah does not. University of Utah fans do.
Know your role and shut your mouth.
LV Seminole. Do we even have the Aaron Rodgers raccoon video anymore?
Oh, yes. Dude, that's an iconic video, dude.
Bro, come on.
Oh, fucking God.
Utah rolling up in the Big 12.
Utah making their... Hey, somebody's knocking at the door. Play the soundbite. Somebody... who's that? Who's that knocking at the door?
Go ahead.
Oh, hey, Kyle Whittingham. Like, this is what it'll be like in the first conference meetings. Hi. Who the F is that guy?
Yeah, dude. Seriously.
Who the f*** is that guy?
That's amazing. Conference Commissioner Gumby, the Big will use the Aaron Rodgers raccoon video to announce Cal Stanford to the Big. No, you know who this is. There's Kurt Schultz the morning after the Pac-12 collapses. Hey, it's Kurt Schultz. That's like Kurt showing up to Gloria's house begging. Oh, no, Kurt, the AAC wants to see you, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being Kurt Schultz? That guy. What an embarrassment.
Dude, it's rough, bro.
What an embarrassment that guy is. Tom Dean for $2. Flyover J Conference.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Mapes, what's up? Mike Maples gives us $5. Say, can we verify Utah puts in a truck stop outside Rice Eccles that serves a Sato Crow before they join? Oh, my. Mapes. Oh,
Bomb.
It. The moment Utah joins the Big 12, I will not say two words. I will simply get on Twitter and watch Utah Ute fan on Twitter die. Because they will burn, dude. It is.
What now? Let me tell you what now.
I honestly and again, sources at X told me this.
Sources at X.
Sources at X told me that there is an AI program running that instantly deletes every Utah Twitter fan, deletes their account the moment that they get into the Big 12 so that BYU might have 15 minutes of calm in their lives.
Dude.
Can you imagine?
Does BYU troll Utah?
The hellfire that is going to rain down from the heavens.
How many fistfights are going to happen at the first Holy War game?
TDS is going to burn Utah to the ground. It will rain white salamanders up on the hill. BYU fans are absolutely going to torch Utah fans when they come to the Big 12.
Catch me outside. How about that?
The absolute arrogance and troll train that Ute fans have been on for the last 10 years.
It's the fucking vernal equinox.
And the absolute, like, universe is shifting. Well, what happened? Is that Pluto falling out of the sky? It must be, because the Utes are going to follow behind BYU. That's going to be the narrative. That's going to be the narrative. Because all of the talk, BYU, can't have them in this here research institution only conference known as the Pac-12, where everything is sparkly and shiny. It's all diamonds, and you dirty Mormons will not tarnish our diamonds. No, we have caffeinated beverages here.
I'm a man.
Like, that's been the talk for 10
a decade,
years.
Dude. A decade.
Between Utah fan and BYU fan. For 10 years.
Yeah.
And it
BYU truly has the upper hand, dude. Until they lose to Utah, and then
just the absolute ownage that BYU fan will have for 15 minutes.
If BYU found a way to beat Utah, which is not going to happen,
God.
but if they did, my
God. Can you imagine BYU, Utah in a conference game
at
of
LaVell
consequence that knocks Utah out of the college football playoff spot? That knocks Utah out. Oh, my God. BYU. Honest to God, I think that they would all go home and ask.
It's a new day.
They would ask their stake presidents for forgiveness, because it would be like watching porn to them. To knock Utah out of a conference championship spot, I don't, like, they would not, dude.
Ain't no reset.
No Utah fan would show up at church because they'd get hit by lightning. Honest to God. You cannot go anywhere near the Lord's home because you, sir, you are a sinner. And there is no overcoming that. This is Big 12 country, sir. Please see your way out. Can you imagine the rhetoric that LaBelle's boys are going to run at them?
They're going to have
God.
hey, this is Big 12 country on the local stakes, dog.
Excuse me, sir. Red is not a color we allow in. This is the temple of the Lord. It's over. Oh my God.
Dude.
Tom Osborne, Monty, you missed my first super chat.
Dude, come on, bro.
We have over 200 super chats. I believe I read it, Tom.
Tom, please.
Tommy. Did I not? I
Tommy.
Can't. I try my best, you guys. I go in order and everything. And I try to get to the bottom of them. We get a lot of them, and I appreciate every single one of them. They make a huge difference for us.
Yeah.
And if I miss one occasionally, I'm really sorry. He said, you missed my first super chat. How dare you? You can make it up by buying an Apple TV subscription. No, sir. Nope. Thanks for the comment, GBR. Go Big Red. I appreciate you. I won't. Does Fox do the full pullout? Payout.
You did not. Dude. Bro.
Notre Dame, our mother. Does Fox do the full payout for Utah, Arizona State, and Big 12? They do. This has been long set. Brett Yormark has consulted. I am told that Brett Yormark has consulted ESPN and Fox the entire way. That this is a paved road. That the process is in place already, and they simply it is simply procedural now. That is what this is.
Yeah.
And I was told today straight up, Arizona State, and Utah are on their way.
Yeah.
And it is simply a matter of procedure. So we'll watch it play out, right? We will watch it play out. Preston Dorfeld. They're pulling out of the conference. Gary Wolf, the full pullout. I deserve this. I do. Jay Baller. Monty will sack this.
Cock.
I deserve that. J-Rod, he said pull out. MH5. Catholics don't pull out, Monty. I deserve it.
It's truly incredible.
It was a Freudian slip.
Yeah, that's what Adela said.
No,
Dude.
Josh. No soaking jokes today, Josh. BYU's going to soak in Utah's pain. Wow. Frank Autry. Bad things happen when you keep it in. Yes, they do. Mike Smith, this is why this show is fun. We try, man. David, what? MH5, I thought that's how they controlled procreation. No? Okay. Wrong show. Pack, pull out a conference.
Dude, this is all time right now.
CKS, do Catholics soak? And donuts, do you pull out front to back?
Dude.
That's amazing. That I don't know.
I just want to thank you all.
Incredible, dude. This is why you guys are the best, dude. That is awesome.
Riley O'Brien, talk about bringing substance of something of worth, as Jake said. Pull-out game for Jake is not strong. You know. The I playlists. This is the show that made me a true Monty fan. We try. Richard Berger became a member of the Pull-Out Show.
Let's go!
Hey, Richard, when did you become a member of the Monty Show?
Well, his name is Dick.
Oh, hey, Dick Berger. Wow. Hey, Richard, when did you become a member of the show? Hey, that Pull-Out Show.
Can you measure it?
Everybody became a member that day.
Oh, man, dude.
God almighty. Do Catholics soak? Big Jack, pull-out's greater than soaking. Drew Money, you don't want to do a half pull-out. No. No, you don't. It's fair. No. This is worse than a pull-out joke. Who's bigger, Utah or BYU? Oh, that's a loaded question. The Tater Man, Utah fans' tears are delicious. Okay. Giggity. But if you pulled out, we wouldn't be blessed with Jake.
Well, I was an accident. I have no problem saying it.
Ruptured condom, boy.
Yeah, dude, I have no problem
Jay
saying
Baller, are you seriously pulling out, Monty? No, Monty, no. I'm 50 years old, man. Snippity snip, bruh. DC Buckeye. I could see Devin Brown transferring to Utah next year if he doesn't win the starting job at Ohio State this year.
The
Ohio State. Utah does a great job in the portal, dude.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
NIL is where they're weak, not the portal.
Yeah. Norman. Wonder if you have to cuddle after the pullout. Don't get it on the sheets. It's fair. Who soaks more, BYU or Utah?
Yeah, I know what time it is.
OG Gary, Utah to the 12. Let me in. Promise it's just the 10. Wow. Rafe Hughes says classic. Pull out, reset. Ain't no reset.
There ain't no reset, dog.
Nah, bro.
Dude, there ain't no reset, man.
Boyd Lake, pull out the rug from underneath the conference. That's happening.
Mm-hmm.
That is happening. Conference Commissioner Gumby says Dick Burger. See what it's a
Dick Burger.
Eggplant.
Cock.
You know, eggplant.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you guys, don't forget, we are giving away a pair of tickets to see BYU against Cincinnati Saturday, September 29th, 8:15 on ESPN. It is BYU's first ever home game in the Big 12. All you have to do to win those tickets is go to Super Chicks in Ogden on Riverdale Road. In St. George, shoot a picture of your food that you're eating. Tag us on Twitter or Instagram, The Monty Show. MONTY, The Monty Show. SLC Jake. By the way, Jake desperately needs followers on social media. He's very unlikable because he's, again, a back-to-front guy.
Right.
Overlook that. Follow him on Twitter and Instagram. Tag him SLC Jake. I thought you were changing the name of your Twitter and Instagram.
Oh.
No. SLC Jake on Twitter and Instagram. Tag us in a picture. Oh, you don't live near Ogden or St. George. there's always our good friends at Bucked Up, buckedup.com, the official energy drink of the Monty Show. Hey, are you running low on protein? Get to buckedup.com. Use the promo code Monty20 to get 20% off at checkout. Whether it's pre-workout, protein, collagen peptides, you name it, they've got it. Hook it up, buckedup.com. Use the promo code Monty20 to get 20% off at checkout. When you do that, or if you've got a Bucked Up Energy, or if you've got a buckshot like we always do on the show, snap a picture of yourself with that can, with that bottle, with that supplement. Hit us on Twitter or Instagram, The Monty Show. You're entered to win. We'll give those tickets away on Friday. Now, next week, and I'm warning you, I've said this before. Hi. I'm warning you. Next week is going to be very difficult to win the tickets.
I'm for real.
They are tickets you want.
I'm for real.
They are tickets everybody wants. It's one of the biggest games in Texas this year.
Texas.
We're going to give away a pair of tickets to it. I'll announce it on Monday. It's going to be really easy to enter, but it's going to be very difficult to win.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be very difficult to win.
Points for creativity as usual.
Always points for creativity. Always. Shooter, Texas. All this talk about pulling out, and now you're talking about protein energy drinks, not a good look. Hey, man. It's what you got to do. Craig Swaim. Bucked Up gives you protein so you can give protein to your date.
Damn.
See,
His cock.
You know. Fat Jesus. I'm just sending a picture of me drinking and driving, then one of me calling the advocates. Will that count? That counts. A hundo P. Skaven, yes. Pull out or plan B. Wrong show. Richard Berger, Big Ten meeting tonight. Expect Oregon, UW, Cal, and Stanford to the Big Ten soon. I saw that.
Well, I think that's really, that's really the only question that's left is like timelines and efficiency. Just how soon is this going to happen? Because there's not a lot of time here. They're not rushing. They don't have to rush, but you can't drag your feet. It's one of those deals where it's like, hey, we got to keep the ball rolling, keep the momentum up. So I think the Big 12 situation's handled. I have no doubt that those three are going, in addition to Colorado. The only question is going to be the Big 10 and how quickly they act, because I think that could be pretty quick.
By the way, not for nothing.
Yeah.
Not for nothing, bro.
Yeah.
There are now a ton of reports surfacing around the country that Arizona and Arizona State, as well as Utah, are going to the Big 12. and now, who knew? Well, all of you, because you watch the show, that talks have accelerated in recent days.
Oh, got it. Okay. And it's not like you knew that already or anything, right? Come on.
Who knew? Who knew? I mean,
come on, dude.
And one of the guys reporting, there's a blog called Sun Devil Source. And Chris Karpman is the publisher. He is the ASU guy. And he tweeted today, hearing more chatter in recent hours about ASU considering leaving the Big 12 with Arizona. It's being discussed more seriously than at any point previously. And he also reports that the conference is on the verge of collapse. Now, I will also say this is completely unnecessary. Completely unnecessary.
Just generally speaking, or what do you mean?
It never should have gotten here.
Yeah.
It never should have gotten here. I'm just telling you guys, this is, and I think a lot of people think that I'm celebrating this. I'm not celebrating this. This is, and remember I said this when this conference goes away. This is one of the worst tragedies in the history of professional sports. It just never had to happen.
Yeah,
it never had to happen.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yep.
It just didn't. David gives us $2. Thank you, David. Appreciate that. LV Seminole gives us $5. I think the program gathering at the first Big 12 Holy War football game needs to be planned. I'll fly in from KC for sure. For certain.
Definitely.
We need to do that. We're also thinking about coming to Texas for a game this year. Yeah. I really would like to get to a Texas Tech game. We're thinking about doing is everybody like, should we do a Texas game? Should we do a Texas Tech game? Like, what are you guys thinking?
When's Tech and Texas playing? When is that? And are they playing at DKR this year? What's
Just in games for $2. FSU doesn't know how to pull out.
No, they don't.
Let's wrap up. Wrap up. Okay. Let's wrap up the show while Jake looks that game up. Let's wrap up the show by talking about everything that we reported today on the show. Probably the biggest news of the day is that Arizona State, and Utah have had extensive conversations about joining the Big 12. We are told again that that road really has been paved, and a lot of dominoes have fallen behind the scenes in that narratives have changed. We played the Ray Anderson bite today, where he was much more, I think, willing and open to talk about the fact that Arizona State's leaving the conference. We have not heard word one from Utah, though sources behind the scenes in the conference have told us that Utah, Arizona State, and Arizona have held talks and have had open discussions on a regular basis over the last few days about moving into the Big 12. And it's now being reported widely nationally that Arizona State, and Utah are on their way to the Big 12. And I think a lot of this obviously has to do with the fact that, as we reported back on May 24th, I believe it was, that the Big Ten did not want to be seen rating the Pac-12. We reported that, and we played the video. It's on my Twitter feed, The Monty Show. They want to be seen rating the Pac-12, but at this hour, Oregon, Washington, Stanford, and Cal are on the verge of moving to the Big Ten. I expect all of this to happen in short order. I would be surprised if this got into next week. I would be surprised if by Friday we did not have significant realignment movement. And really, I think if any of these moves happen, the Pac-12's done. It's over. So I think these moves now have to happen. I think Fox, I have been told by TV industry sources, Fox and ESPN are in lockstep with Brett Yormark. Both have agreed to pay for 16 teams. You'll remember that the deal in the Big 12 really is 65% of the football belongs to ESPN, 65% of the basketball belongs to Fox. So they kind of have to agree to disagree, or agree to agree, because ESPN has a pro rata, which says they will pay teams up to 16. Fox had to agree to that. I am told behind the scenes by sources that they in fact have. And I am told that the Big Ten months ago went to their TV partners and essentially said, hey, here's what we want to do. Are you on board? And most of the freight for these four new teams is going to be paid by CBS and Fox, CBS and NBC, because Fox only has the big noon kickoff. All those late windows belong to CBS and NBC in the Big Ten. So that really is the update today. But now you're seeing, if you look at any of the major reports out there, you are seeing that it is being widely reported that now this is moving. And most people now are indicating Arizona State, and Utah are likely to join the Big 12. Like, this is not...
It's over, dude.
And now everybody's picking up on our report. It's over in the Big 12.
By the way,
they're going to the Big 12.
Tech at DKR, 11:24, 5:30 Mountain Time.
Yeah, that's probably something we got to get to.
That is a football game.
That is a football game. That is a football
game.
That is a football game.
Yeah,
man,
that's incredible.
What a wild day.
Yeah.
What a wild couple of weeks. And I know this sounds blasé, or it's not scripted. I want you to understand, I truly appreciate every one of you. Jake's kind of a cock. He doesn't like people. But I want you to know that we appreciate you guys being here. The way you support the show. If you have not, please hit the like button. I really appreciate that. We cannot go to that game. We'll be in Hawaii.
God.
That's right. We'll be in Hawaii for Thanksgiving. Thank you, Shybone. That's a bummer. Anyway, the point is, we appreciate you guys being here. Please hit the like button. We're trying to get to 25,000 subscribers before kickoff happens. So please, if you are not subscribed, we are at 21,267.
Nice. So
we're moving. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe. Play the music. We appreciate everybody that's here. Over 20,000 views on the show today. Wild, you guys. We appreciate you.
Guys are amazing.
Yeah. Thank you. That's all I can say is thank you. The Monty Show is presented by the Advocates. The best injury attorneys in the business. Never pay out of pocket at the Advocates. Talk to an attorney online for free 24/7 in a live chat. Theadvocates.com. Make sure you tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show. Until tomorrow, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.